Hello, and welcome back to ESA Summer 21. My name is Sam Without a Plan, your host for the Golden Sun Race. We are out here raising money this week for Save the Children. And as always, links to donate can be found below the stream, or you can type !donate in the chat. We'd also like to thank Twitch and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. And now I'm going to hand it over to you, Plexa, Bluezer, and Bowie the Hero. Good luck with the run.
Thank you very much indeed, Sam. Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. It is very late over here in Europe. It's currently half three for me. Obviously, not so bad for Plexa and Bluezer. Well, welcome to Golden Sun. We've got a lot to get through, so let's start the run, and we'll start cracking on with all of the stuff to talk about when we get into it. So, are you boys ready?
We're ready. One sec. Yeah, ready.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Well, let's do the countdown then. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Sweet. Welcome to Golden Sun. The land of Wayard. It's a disc-like planet that many years ago the powers of alchemy were, raging through the land. It was a very vibrant world. Seas raged. Volcanoes erupted and all that kind of stuff. The earth cracked. And then basically humans were like, damn, this is not ideal. Let's chill. So they kind of like sealed away the powers of alchemy in 4 elemental lighthouses. That was all back in the past. But now it's the current day. There's a storm going on and young Isaac has to evacuate because something is happening in the town of Vale. Vale is a village at the basically in Mount Aleph, and at the top of Mount Aleph is a shrine called Sol Sanctum, which is a shrine to the sun. Sol Sanctum, at the end of the day. And yeah, basically the people of Vale are just kind of a group of, talented individuals called adepts who are still in tune with the more alchemic and kind of magical powers of Wayard. Quick menu at the beginning, just to change our text speed to fast, because there's a lot of cutscenes in this game, and specifically all kind of front-loaded into this intro, which is about 42 minutes. So for the beginning of this race, both Bluezer and Plexa are going to be going pretty ham today. This is going to be a very, very exciting run. I pretty much have just said that this is going to be like the run of the year for this game. They're going to be going a little bit try-hard mode a little bit later on, serious time I should say. But they're with me for the beginning, to kind of help through this beginning bit, because it's going to be quite a lot of cutscenes.
I flubbed the first menus. This bodes well for the rest of the run.
GG's, Bluezer. Congratulations on your win.
Good. Yeah, good race. Excellent.
GG's. Well played.
Yep.
See you next year.
Oh dear. So this guy, we can just say, don't worry, you have no chance of survival. You're going to die here. And he's like, yeah, just leave me, boys, run away. So you'll notice that both of our runners got an attack first, and they got a first-time flee. This category that we're doing is any percent no S and Q, no save and quit. There are some marathon specific stuff that we're going to be doing, but the spirit of the game is to essentially remove any RNG manipulation, because in this game there are 2 types of RNG, general and battle RNG, and they can be manipulated and reset by soft resetting or hard resetting the game. A soft reset is A/B start select to go back to the title screen. A hard reset is console on and off. Off and on, rather. And that resets the general RNG and both types of RNG respectively. And then if you reset the battle RNG back down to 0, then you act in a very particular way in battle, you'll always get the same outcomes from the enemies. We're removing that and making it so we don't know what the enemies are going to do, then we just have strats to get us through every single fight. So the first fight was an attacks first, because at battle RNG 0, the first action is always an attacks first. After that, we had 2 more encounters where we're trying to flee, and it looks pretty much even. I think both runners had like a 1 flee fail or 2. Nothing major.
I had a fail the first.
Yeah, same.
There you go.
We're same RNG then.
Ooh, same seed, maybe. We'll have to see. There's 1 more encounter before the end. We'll have to see how it goes. The reason it's not actually the same seed is because everything here is nuts. Although, oh, hello. Blue got away first try. And, ooh!
Alright.
Same seed. So the battle RNG, the actions taken by enemies when they get their turns is based on the battle RNG. However, the chance to flee, whether or not you actually run away from encounters, is based on general RNG. And the reason that's nuts is because general RNG activates and changes whenever something is moving on the screen, pretty much. You may notice that it's currently raining. that rain is completely RNG, and that rain affects the RNG. So right now, the general RNG is just a typhoon of BS.
It's updating every frame at 60 FPS. So yeah, it's a little bit crazy right now.
But don't worry, Plexa can read the Matrix and knows exactly what's going on right now.
I can't.
I should give some backstory to these runners, because as I said, this is quite a storied run. Plexa pretty much is Golden Sun speedrunning. Obviously, many people have been part of the communities over the years, and there have been so many names. There are too many to name, but loads and loads of people who have been part of this, like Val, Reg, Legrand, Alyssa. So many people over the last 8 years have given so much, but Plex has been there the entire time pretty much. All of like the hacking community as well, like Salanute and that lot have just found so much about this game over the years.
Let's not forget all the new people who have joined this year as well. Savasaka in particular, making great strides on the leaderboard. Conical, I forget everybody. Pure Spirit. It's really crazy. CI, of course,
yeah. But the reason we're focusing on these two right now is Plexa is the world record holder for pretty much every category for every game, I think, at this point. Maybe a couple that you don't have, except one. Oh, how do you feel?
Fine, not interested in that category.
Oh, I see. Sure. Just wait for the reset grinding. Don't worry. And Blueser started last year, like late last year, running. Was one of the newer runners. I mean, I think since the beginning of last year, I started running this game January last year, and since that point, there's been like a huge influx as like Golden Sun were kind of with the no S&Q categories coming into things for both Golden Sun 1 and 2. There's been a huge influx of runners, so it's been quite a whirlwind for the community. But Blueser in particular, joining last year, has put time into this game and has been very dedicated to this, and has been putting in so much effort and has had so many runs go the distance almost. And some that have gone the distance. Yo, look at this Death Procs landing. Fireball easy every time. The intro. So we were talking about that, and so based on the fact that they got one failed flea on the bat and then everything else went a certain way, it was always going to be that way. These first 4 encounters are guaranteed. We have to get those first 4, and we have to try and flee from them. And because of that, we'll see particular outcomes that we will just expect. Like if we get all fleas. Yeah,
this is a great seed for this, Bowie. This is a great seed for this because
it is very nice,
we both have attacks first going into Soul Sanctum.
Just because of the way it works out.
Yeah,
it's super nice.
Yeah.
This is another long cutscene. So before we start cracking on with more information, Sam, if you have anything, either any donations or anything you'd like to plug, now's a good time.
I do. I have a $25 donation from Kessenchu that says, got some unexpected money, decided to share it with Save the Children. Second donation of the week. Love ESA, my favorite event of the year. Keep up the good work, everyone. Cheers from Brazil. And that donation actually went towards the job simulator Bouncy Job mod, which is still open, still taking bids. We are less than $320 away from that $1,000 goal. So thank you for everyone donating right now towards the job simulator Bouncy mod.
Thank you. I reckon we can definitely hit at least 49k tonight, and I'm pretty sure we can hit 50k. Easy.
It's a long intro.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Also, currently on the screen...
50k before intro's over.
Yeah. Please, if you can do that, that'd be fantastic. Currently, we have the best character on the screen and the worst character on the screen. Jenna and Garrett, respectively. Garrett is rubbish, and Jenna is the best. That said, Jenna won't be doing too much for this run. Garrett will just about be doing more than Jenna, just about, for the next 3 hours. So these are Isaac. Isaac's the main character with the blonde hair, classic blonde hair sword user. You're playing a JRPG. What do you expect? Jenna and Garrett are, his childhood friends, and other adepts in training. So adepts have this powerful ability called synergy, or synergy, however you want to say it. I say it synergy because I like to say it that way, even though most people would just say synergy.
Well, you say it correctly, Bowie.
I do, yeah.
Energy, bro.
I think it's psychic energy, so like get over it.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'm wrong, but I've learned to say it this way, so I'm going to forever say it incorrectly. Apologies.
It's okay.
I'm going to bring up again that caused says psi energy.
That's pretty good.
That
is quite good. What's pronunciation? Good God. Oh man. By the power of Shop Girl, please be gone. So the beginning is like these three are all they're all childhood friends. They're also studying with a passing scholar who's like, currently been studying in Vale for a little while, looking into the powers of alchemy and is teaching the kids of Vale. So Isaac, Garrett, and Jenna are going to go and have a chat with Craden. Craden's a really old man, so obviously he's very wise, but that means he's going to have lots of lines of dialogue, because the general rule in Golden Sun is the older the character, the more they talk. So obviously right now, Isaac's mum is banging on about all kinds of things, about, what happened recently, because we should talk about the storm. The Mount Aleph boulder, which is a boulder on Mount Aleph, funnily enough, fell and crushed Isaac's father and Jenna's parents, and also Jenna's brother. So Jenna lost her entire family in that storm, and Isaac lost his father. So they're still recovering from the effects of the storm, and obviously Isaac's been doing his adept training by arbitrarily fixing the roof rather than doing anything special with it, but that's of course
better than what Garrett's been doing.
Ruining everything because he's Garrett. I like how Jenna moves away from Garrett, so you could see the full glory of his disaster. The disaster that is Garrett. How are you feeling so far, Blue? I mean, you're in the lead right now. Mid-game interview. Are you warmed up? Are you feeling good?
Hey, Riff, can I get a time check? Can I get a time check?
Yeah, we're at 10:45 right now.
All right. We'll see how long this lasts.
Yeah.
Well, for at least another 2 minutes.
I actually think Plex is ahead of you, buddy.
Really? How did that happen?
I don't know. Wait, what?
You must have just got good stairs, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, I got terrible stairs. Yeah.
Oh, the mashing. Actually, no. To be fair, Plex. No. Okay, yeah, it's 0.5 of a second in Blues' thing right now. So Blues is in the lead right now. Currently, close, tense race as we are 11 minutes into this 4-hour run, and you can see that these guys are just like on each other's heels, going hammer and tongs.
Okay. If we're gonna bring up close races, there was a time where Bowie beat Blues' PB by what? 11 frames? 7 frames?
I think it was 11 frames. Yeah,
it was less than 10. Yeah,
it was ridiculous. Like, this game is long, and there's a ton of RNG, but we inexplicably keep ending up with runs that are very, very, very close to each other. Yeah, so it could just be this tight the entire way through, which would be amazing.
I did definitely stamp my Chad gamer status on Blueser that run, I think. You really felt the pressure there, mate, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
All I need to do is beat you by 6 frames. I don't need to do any more. I've already beaten you. Yeah, it was really bad. I think what it was like my positioning for using the black orb at the end was like slightly better, so I had to walk less space to get to the cutscene or something silly like that. It was really dumb.
No, I think Blue bungled the last menu or something.
Yeah, I thought it was something worse than that.
Yeah, some awful reason.
I legitimately think you saved like 3 seconds over my final sprint.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. You do nothing.
Yeah, it's just cutscene. I should note that all of this ribbing I am giving Blue. He is ahead of me on the leaderboard now. So, yeah. I just noticed the time. The time is 3:38 in the morning, which is my time in the game. Jeez. It's really interesting. So like Blueser was the second ever sub 340 time, which was for the longest time like a time that we were all going for, and I think Blueser and I were both grinding around the same time and probably had about 500, 600 runs just like thrown to the wolves in an attempt to get the 340, and then suddenly Blueser just bloodied and battered, like crosses the line. Like, I got a 339, 59.9. I did it.
Yeah, it was actually a 339, 59. It was indeed.
Yeah. God, yeah. It's like one of those like just like a veteran, just kind of like I've seen some things, man. I've seen some things. I made it. But yeah, so Kraden basically is going to take the children up to Soul Sanctum, which is a place where no one should go, and we shouldn't be here. But Kraden, in his infinite wisdom, was like, "Come on, kids, let's go to a dangerous place where we're not allowed to roam, and find out the secrets of our history." Because obviously he's a scholar and he wants to know about things, and we're a plucky bunch of teenagers who wants to find out, or wants to kind of crack on with stuff. So let's go. This is the opening corridor. We're going to see how the RNG looks for certain runners here. Again, the first encounter will be a attack first, so they'll both get away first try. Looks like it was an early encounter for Plexa, so he might get his next one sooner. We'll have to see what the rate is. So I should talk about encounter rate now, because it's a thing. Imagine there are windows, right? And there's a window of opportunity between like 5 and 10 steps. Or the next one could be 10 to 15 steps, or 15 to 20. And basically there are different rates, and you'll get a window of either a lot of steps or not many steps. And then you'll see how far you can go, basically. That's a very simplistic way of describing the encounter rate in this game, that there are just kind of these step windows that you get. And you'll either get a really good step window, like 25 to 30 steps, or you get a really crap one, which is 5 to 10. Imagine it on a much grander scale, because I think, Plexa, the numbers here of how many windows are there? Like 16,000?
128.
128,000, my bad. Yeah, my bad. Like, what, times 8 what I said? Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Close.
Yeah,
Very
cheers,
close.
man, yeah.
Well, yeah, like for simplicity, I wrote a really bad algorithm to condense it between 0 and 32. That's the 0 and 30, sorry. So we often talk about like a rate 30 encounter being like the highest possible rate. The encounters within a particular rate value are about the same, so it doesn't really matter too much. But in theory, you can have two rates of the same number and have them be a little bit different. But it doesn't really matter in this run.
Yeah, it's overall.
We'll complain about when we get bad RNG.
Yeah, exactly. So ideally, runners would be getting their third encounter, or their second encounter, ideally, before this cutscene, this screen here. So the screen that Plexa is now on and Blues is entering actually has, hello, attack first, very nice. Has these slime enemies. Now, a chance to flee is based on your average party level versus the enemy's average party level. We're all level 1, and all the enemies in the dungeon, apart from those slimes, are level 1. The slimes are level 2. So by the slimes being in the party, it shifts the chance to flee against us, and a little bit more in the enemy's favour. So, if you can get an encounter as close as possible to this split, or to this screen, then great. But we'll see. Looking pretty good for Plexa overall. Blues are just gonna see if he can get past this one. There's one more encounter for him there. And he's also been getting a lot worse luck, a lot more encounters that are failing to flee. That giggle there is one of, pain. Pain more than anything else. Starting off with a quick menu here. So what's really cool about this game is that Synergy is not just a combat tool, it's also an exploration tool, and you'll be using them. But some spells can be used in both combat and exploration, and some are just exclusively exploration or combat spells. Move and retreat have been hotkeyed to L and R. On the Game Boy Advance, you can hit L or R to like hotkey spells to them, so you can do, rather than going into the menu and using a spell, you can just press the button and use the spell instantly. Move and retreat.
Can I get a time check?
I'm just going to get you a confirmation. You entered in 1720.
Oh my!
9. 1729.
Thank you.
And then 1730. 1740. 1741. Okay. So 12 seconds apart right now, entering the Soul Sanctum. I'm going to be doing their splits for them.
Although I just realized I had really good RNG at that point, and I wondered if the sub 49 Bandits was in play. If it was, I'd have to play this next section differently.
Yeah. Sorry,
but I don't believe it is. Oh well. You have to be 1x to get that. Anyway,
what
sorry.
Did you say it was?
Yeah.
20 something?
Yeah, it's 20 something.
Like 15, like 17.
Yeah, just so you know as well, a time that we're looking for as runners. As a sub 18 is like a sub 18 interior or an in area if you're Plexa. Is a sub 18 is kind of like what you want to see, but like obviously very low 17s are better ones. Have you fixed that split yet, Plexa?
No, I refuse to fix it.
Okay.
I used for a long time.
I fixed Mogul Forest.
Alright. There is a story here. So basically, my split key used to be T. My reset button was T. Sorry. And if you know anything about Life Split, you'll know that it has the wonderful option to deactivate hotkeys for other programs. So I was rewriting my splits one day, not realizing that my deactivate hotkeys for other programs was active, and so all my splits didn't have the T in it. So that's why I had in the area and I had Bandits and stuff like that.
Bandits. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this beginning is just, we're just searching through Soul Sanctum, and it's very important that the whole kind of a little bit of context to what happened earlier on in the game with the whole Mount Aleph boulder falling was because previously, I think it was 3 years ago, Saturas and Menardi, those two shady figures who beat us up a little bit earlier, they tried to get into Soul Sanctum and get into the heart of Soul Sanctum. But they couldn't figure out this puzzle because they're really smart. So because they couldn't figure it out, it caused an eruption.
I resent that, Bowie.
I know. There is a reason why they didn't do it, of course. There was reasons behind the fact that they couldn't quite get it.
If you come here casually, your first instinct is to push the statue. And if you push the statue without first solving the puzzle over to the left-hand side, that triggers the storm and things get really dangerous. But because we left Kraden behind and he was on the bottom floor, he could see that the storm was happening, and he tells us, "No, stop, you must fix it." So very clearly, Mr. Rosmanati didn't leave anybody behind because they're good compatriots and leave no one behind.
Yes.
And, as a result, triggered a storm. So there you go.
Yes, that is the real reason for it, yeah. But we actually just leave the old man to fend for himself. But yeah, so basically what you're meant to do is you're meant to place the safety key on the left, and then it means that you can unlock the pattern, and it swaps Soul and Luna. And then having Luna active allows us to go inside to the depths of Soul Sanctum, where the elemental stars lie. And inside the Sea of Stars is where the elemental stars are. The elemental stars are the keys to unlock the powers of alchemy in the 4 elemental lighthouses that are housing the powers of alchemy. Saturas and Menardi want that power. We've gone in here with mithril bags given to us by Kraden, because Kraden wants to grab the stars for the purpose of research, whereas Saturas and Menardi want it for more nefarious reasons. But this is one of the best tracks in the entirety of the Golden Sun canon. Motoi Sakuraba's magnum opus is the Golden Sun soundtrack. I will not hear anything else about that. People are going to be like, "I'm ready to fight," but what about Tales of? What about it? This is very good. Kraden's really old, and he's very excited by stuff because he's a massive nerd, and trying to teach the kids about alchemy and what this means to be in the heart of Soul Sanctum.
Well, hold on. Do you guys just like TLA so much because it was Jenna's fault? I mean, it is Jenna's fault, right?
What? Why?
Well, she sends the lads over, yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
it's her fault that they got caught and left behind. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Spoilers, by the way. They're going to get caught. Can't believe you've done this, man. Spoiling a 20-year-old game. Ridiculous. So here they are.
Yeah, like Jenna being in TLA is definitely a point in the favor of TLA. Just putting it out there, Blue.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you trying to say? Sadly, Garrett's in TLA as well. We can't quite get rid of him. The game tries.
Yeah, but he almost dies. That's fantastic. And we have naked Garrett. What a strat! It's so good. just for everybody who's not aware of this, in the Lost Age, Garrett's main use is selling everything that he has to afford a shop.
I prefer yard sale Garrett, personally.
Yeah.
Each to their own.
Oh man. I need to do my usual Camelot spiel. Camelot Software Planning are an amazing development team. They are a very attention to detail kind of company, where there's loads of little details in terms of the way that the sprites act and behave and react to things and look around. But there's also wider animations going on in the background that kind of infer how the characters are feeling, how they're speaking, and all that kind of stuff. And it's all very, very fascinating stuff. This game, if you haven't seen it before, you may have noticed that it's absolutely stunning. Really, really good color palettes and interesting ways to design the sprites. And these sprites are sprites, but they're pre-rendered. So they're rendered and then they're kind of made into sprites afterwards. They are kind of like 3D images that then get kind of made into sprite things instead. So it's a very fascinating way of doing it. They've been doing this for a while before this point. So they also obviously. Camelot Software Planning were previously known as Sonic Software Planning or Sonic CD4, and they made all of the early Shining games, like Shining Force, Shining in the Darkness, Shining the Holy Ark, and Shining and all that kind of stuff. Shining Wisdom as well. They kind of got started with this kind of style with Shining Wisdom and Shining the Holy Ark, and then Shining Force 3 before making this. So, if you've played any of those games, you may recognise the art style somewhat. And they've kind of maintained a lot of their design philosophy with how characters interact and stuff like that. Hello, yes.
I played Mario Tennis for the GBA and it looks surprisingly similar. Any relation?
Yes. Camelot Software Planning also make fantastic Mario sports game. And the Mario Tennis and Mario Golf GBA games are this engine in Golden Sun is kind of like what that is based. It's kind of like a slightly modified engine from this, but it is a similar engine. And Sakuraba does the soundtrack for those two, and they have
and
RPG.
They're banging.
They're banging. Yeah. So also, if you want to talk about some real swag, because Plexa's got the mad swag, I'm going to see if Blues has got it too.
Oh, come on, of course he does.
Oh, he slightly does. Oh, hello. So half-tile jumping. You'll sometimes see that when they're jumping over, because you can only jump one tile, but sometimes our runners will be halfway between where they need to be, but then they'll jump diagonally along. Because if you get the pixels just right, you can do those jumps, and it saves frames. But of course, we want to save frames because we're speedrunners, right?
No, we want to save frames because we've got nothing better to do during the intro.
Yeah,
make it end sooner.
Speaking of nothing to do during the intro, we've got Satoru and Minardi they've suddenly shown themselves. Satoru is a very cunning man, Minardi is a very fierce woman, and they work together in a very symbiotic relationship to kind of be very brutal but also very sly about how they go about things. This peculiarly masked man is of no one important. It's not at all Jenna's brother or anything like that, who she thought died previously. Don't worry about it. Are going to they're saying, give us the stars and go and get that fourth one. We have your friends hostage. Because again, they want the elemental stars to relight the lighthouses and bring alchemy back to the world. Wait a second, what's that going on? He's got something about this person being a guarantee of their safety. But how can a random dude who's definitely not Jenna's brother be a guarantee of safety?
Who knows? Maybe we'll find out halfway through the game.
Can you explain Camelot's desire to throw masks at us in a lot of games to very poorly cover up the identity of a person? Oh, Arcanus.
It turns out that actually is in fact how I got you. You totally didn't see it coming. That's Felix, Jenna's brother. He didn't die. So 3 years ago, he was saved by Satoru and Minardi. For the last 3 years, he's been with them. You can actually meet Felix in the inn in Vale before you come to this point. He's like, I have nothing to say to you. And then off he goes. Be gone, yeah. Also, fun note, he has a green cape in this game, Felix. His cape somehow becomes blue in TLA. I think it's because they needed him to pop more as a protagonist character to run around with. There's a lot of green in the game, and he's very green heavy.
Noah got washed up, man.
Oh yeah, it's either that or the sea stained it.
It's not color fast. He did not follow the instructions on the scarf. It is now blue.
Okay. Dry clean only. Damn it! Oh god.
Let that be a lesson to everybody. Check the tag.
The color setting.
Yeah. If you please use a color catcher as well, so it doesn't run. We're going to be doing a lot of running in
watching
the game.
Golden Sun.
Yeah. We have got a bit more cutscene left though. So Sam, hello, how are you?
Hi.
You alright?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. Losers just chugging in drinks like, let's go, lads.
I have a couple donations.
Oh,
would you like to hear them?
Fantastic.
I would love to. Yes, please.
Yeah. All right. We have a $25 donation from Strawberry Speedruns. It says, "Hello, Golden Sun Racers. I'd be here to cheer for Blueser, but I am unfortunately soft-locked in Link's Awakening's D6 and therefore cannot. I have instead opted to scramble 9 eggs. Good luck, have fun, get the sleeps, and don't lose time in Colosso."
Cheers, Barry.
And that bid was towards the Super Mario 64 16-star a drum cover, which I am being told Cesar will perform their own drum cover of the Super Mario 64 credit song if that goal is met, which we are only $520 away.
Nice. Thank you very much indeed. Just quickly as well, this is the wise one, that big floating stony eye. That he is the wise one. The easiest way to describe him is, I think it's a wonderful term that Plexa wants to use, and I love using it all the time because it's a lovely way of putting it. The custodian of Wayard, and this like god that oversees the world and kind of looks after it. So he's been looking after the elemental stars all this time and has kind of kept his eye on things. Waiting for those who are worthy to enter the ring. After picking up the final elemental stars, you can see that it's no longer a beautiful, bountiful sea of alchemic powers. It's now a very angry volcano. As all volcanoes are pretty angry. Not the happiest bunch.
They also got rid of our good theme, which will return in I don't know, an hour. Give or take. Yeah. There's something about the wise one being the custodian. It's he very clearly, or it very clearly, abides by a higher directive where it doesn't particularly care about what happens to people if it is for the overall betterment of Wayard as a whole. So, a very interesting thing. I was going to say antagonist, but not really. But it's such that you don't really understand what it's doing until the very end of the series, and even then you still have question marks. Speaking of which, our 4th game, Camelot, we could use some answers.
I'm just saying, they're going to. I know they will. They went from Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, which was a game that existed on the Wii U, to Mario Tennis Aces with the story mode, to Mario Golf Super Rush with RPG elements and a reference to Shining Force 2. I think the next thing is Golden Sun 4 and Shining Force 4. That's definitely the next thing happening. They're going to be like, hey, Sega, we are back. And Sega are going to be like, oh, thank God, finally. Please, take Shining. Just take it. We don't know what we did. Just take it. Good luck. Yeah, we'll see. And then Golden Sun 4. Easy.
So I want to point out something, because by now you've realized that this intro is really long and we're really struggling to kill time. So we're both using turbo controllers.
I'm not even using it. Look, here's proof.
What? He's trying to make up time.
I am. I'm behind.
Oh,
poor
God.
Plexa. Oh, man.
Man, do I feel like a fool.
I had this long chat with Plexa being like, yeah, he's gonna just use the turbo controller to get through the intro. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna chill, and then we're gonna go. This guy's been tryharding since frame 1. Tryhard.
I can't believe he's done this.
Yep.
Unreal.
Playing all the cards tonight.
Damn, Blizz is taking it serious when he's mashing. Can I get some mashins in chat?
Yeah. Oh mate, we need to get an animated emote, which is just like a thumb just like smashing a button.
Yeah.
Blues a mash.
I usually spam Mr. Destructoid in his chat to represent the turbo, but I guess that's me today. Oh dear.
So yes, we do allow turbo at 10 hertz for the purpose of
it's slower than mashing, but
it is.
It's way better for your fingers and wrists, and generally better for your physical well-being.
Yeah, so the whole turbo controller thing, just because there's always going to be people who are like, excuse me, but turbo is cheating in an RPG. The turbo is, first of all, it's not, but turbo is also at a frequency that's slightly lower than an optimal mash. So it's really, you're not really losing that much time. It's to save your thumbs, but it's like, you know, if you do want to get the faster times, there is an optimal way to mash. So it's a bit of a give and take there. So he basically talks to you about, just quickly, the wise one's like, you can get out of here, it's going to be fine. You know, go forth and, you know, get out of here. The power of alchemy is awakening once again. You know, but we need to make sure that you don't die here, so get out, kind of thing. Obviously, the people of Vale are very upset because once again, in 3 years, Alepht's having an absolute rager. Just like, oh, sorry, I don't know why I said that, but
it's 4 a.m. Bowie. That's why.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it is.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Oh god,
we're here for you. We'll carry the run. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's not.
We're gonna make this a really close and interesting race. You'll never have a dull moment. It'll be great.
Should we just jump in on cutscenes to give Bowie a hand, or what? Like, how do you?
No, it's completely fine. I can genuinely can do this. I'm just kind of like enjoying the moment now before I start getting into the serious esports, bruh, commentary. I'm going to be sitting there being like, and Dave, that was an amazing play. Can we get the analyst up? And they're going to be like, well, let's have a look at these stats right here. And it's just, I'm going to get the whole crew going.
Well, like, you joke, but me and Blueser actually do have some divergent strats at a couple places, so there will actually be things to talk about.
Well, in
some of us have been in the lab.
Oh god, I've seen the lab as well. Messy place. So really funny, funnily enough, or actually really cool. Earlier this year, ACE was discovered for the first time. In Golden Sun, and it actually allows us to have a kind of debug mode that we can like skip cutscenes in, and it really makes for like practicing and grinding stuff, which is very, very lovely.
Shoutouts to FX, Dairetti, T-Water, you guys all made that happen. Especially Dairetti, her work is just, she did the bulk of the heavy lifting on the technical side of Ace, and FX was consulting on what could make it actually happen. Like, just, oh, I never thought I'd see the day where we have Ace. It's amazing.
Very quickly as well, this cutscene here, I like to call this mode here like Game Boy mode. It's just like a sepia filter, obviously, but Camelot uses this a lot in games. If you play like Shining Force 2 or anything like that, there'll be these scenes where nothing's said, but the characters act out what happened. So it's like telling the story through action, and you can basically get the gist of the fact that Isaac and Garrett are saying, well, we went through here, Garrett did something silly, so we had to run away and run around and stuff like that.
Kind of reminds me of Super Mario RPG, Bowie.
GG's Plexa on your win.
I had to.
It wouldn't be you without that, you know. I know how much you love your games, your video games. Yeah, it's just cool to see those kinds of things. Again, like, I'm a massive Camelot fanboy. If you don't know me, I'm just the Camelot guy. That's what I do. The Camelot RPG guy, I should say, in case someone's going to be like, what do you think about Mario Golf on the GBC? I wouldn't know. I haven't touched it with a 10-foot barge pole. But yeah, it's just a design philosophy thing that I think. I see it a lot and I love it. So those kind of things I point out. I'm a bit of a fan. Anyway, at this point, they've told them what happened up there, and the healer, the healer of Vale is like, well, I spoke with the wise one, and he told me that everything, he corroborated the story, it's all true. The kids aren't just lying, but they do need to go out and, they have a responsibility now to protect the world. So they need to go out and, will they hold the responsibility of the world on their shoulders kind of thing. This happened because you went in there. We need to stop Satoris and Minardi from lighting the lighthouses and unleashing the devastating power of alchemy into the world again. So it's a pretty cool intro thing, and Garrett's like, I'll let Isaac decide, and Isaac goes, yeah, and Garrett goes, wait, what? Yes, Garrett. I didn't think you'd say yes.
You could say no.
You can say no, yeah. And then the game just ends, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the true 80%.
Do we have time for a couple of quick donations?
Of course.
You got time for long donations.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a $50 donation from Dora Vaughn. There's no comment, but thank you so much for that generous donation. We also have another $50 donation from Hooray Yogurt that says, fun POG fact. POG stands for Passion Orange Guava. Comes from a juice mix.
They are correct. Yeah.
That's not the wrong. You might hear my typing real quickly. I'm just going to sort out my sound options, please.
There's a good like 4 or 5 minutes left. So if you get a few more,
yeah, we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Because once we leave the intro, guess what they give us? More cutscenes.
Okay. Just quickly though, we were discussing this, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, Flint, shut up, mate." But like, I'll tell you one thing: Flint is consistent. He loses us the exact same amount of time the entire time, whereas Quartz and Vine, on the other hand, you know, especially you, Blue.
I mean, I've said this before, but we should all aspire to be more like Flint, you know, because his first tutorial is kind of not that great. But the lad puts in some work, and by dark dawn, he has got his stuff together, and he puts on a damn good show.
He's got resources and everything. He's got
shout outs to self-improvement. Come on.
Yeah. He's got like a whiteboard and visual references. He's like, check this out.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is that a puppet show?
Pretty much.
You've got like Punch and Judy. He's just like, hey, everybody, you want
And how?
Boy, howdy. So I was talking about there's this like attention to detail in cutscenes, right? The dog run past, and the kid's like, "Where's that dog going?" And they continue the conversation, and it finds out that the dog's going to go and terrorize a cat. It just runs past, like meow, as it runs past. So there's like that kind of background stuff going on. It's really fun.
Well, you say that every time, but I'm always annoyed you never mention Jenna and Garrett right at the beginning of the game, because you can see Jenna very carefully taking steps on the roof, and Garrett's just like, burp, 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 I'm just going to walk on this roof. And it's kind of foreshadowing of what is to come.
Yeah. It is correct. I'm sorry I never talked about that one. I do like that one too. I don't know. I just always talk about other ones. I think it's because I've described.
So you'll also talk about the girl involved, won't you?
Because she's the best. That's the best one. I'm sorry. That's the best.
That is a good one.
It is pretty good. It is pretty good. Yeah.
Especially because we just run right by her.
Yeah. It doesn't matter that you see it. Yeah. So yeah, we're now going to leave. Dora, Isaac's mum, is not there to see her off because she lost her husband and now she's losing her son too. She can't be there. You know? It's very emotional and very painful. And she said, Isaac, you know, promised to not come back until he finished his job. So, yeah.
All right, this really important tech that comes up soon. I cannot play with a turbo controller. It is, quite frankly, it's a battle just to press buttons on this thing. It's good that it does it for me, because otherwise I'd have a really tough time. So I'm going to do a controller switch when I get to the vault cutscene, and then that'll be interesting. Last time I did this during a race, I lost, 40 seconds, Blue, because my controller fell on the ground and it wasn't plugged in, and it was,
you just like walked out of Vale and stood still for like 20 seconds.
And Blue's like, perfect, my lead grows. Gonna need everything I can get here. Plex is very good at this game. He has the world record with a, a 3-3...
3.
Didn't you get it by like a frame or something like that?
One
frame. Yeah. Disgusting.
And it's particularly funny because I got a random drop in the final dungeon, and I was like, I'm going to equip it for the memes. It turns out that it adds an extra line to every turn in a battle, so it actually cost me about 20 frames from just being there, and it almost cost me my 333, which is kind of funny.
What is the text?
It's like
Mia recovered HP or something.
Oh, it's
one of those.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the menu speed of Flint, outpacing some of the runners as well, I'm pretty sure. Intense. So we should probably talk about this as well, actually, because it's a massive part of execution in this run. Now, it is a turn-based RPG, right? And I know what many of you are thinking. It's just press buttons. This game has some of it has like the best menu like in an RPG that I can think of. Like there's It's very, very, very fast, very, very clean. Every single menu in this game is just going to be absolutely incredible. And there is actually technique and skill as part of this menuing. There are two techniques we have, which is, FGC inputs and then menu gliding. So obviously the menu is a list of icons from left to right: attack, synergy, Jin, summon, item, defend. They're up to 6 panels. Now you can press right or down to move the icon right, or up and left to move it left. And because you can press all of these very, very quickly, you can do, like, for example, if I wanted to move 2, you can do a fireball input, roll down to forward, and you'll go 2 across. Or you can do a dragon punch input, and you'll do 3, right? That's a tricky one that is kind of precise, but also pretty fast. But the technique that our runners today are going to be using is going to be menu gliding. And this is a thing that is very, very good, specifically because we're running on the Wii U VC. We should talk about this a bit more, because you can bind different buttons, obviously, to places. So ZL and ZR, for me at least, can be bound to certain things on the Wii U Pro Controller. So you can bind select and start to them. And what select and start do is that when you're holding right and you press select or start, when you're in the battle menu, it duplicates the input, essentially, and you glide. So in order to go 3 spaces from attack over to summon, for example, we'll press right, start, select. And that glides it over, which makes for incredibly fast menuing if you know where everything is. If you need to go to, like, Ginny, and then select a Jin to use, and then summon, and all that kind of stuff. If you know where they are, menu gliding becomes the most impressive technique in this run. And you'll see it a lot from both runners, because they're both, like, very good.
And you'll also see us do it wrong a bunch of times.
That I wasn't going to bring that up. I'm trying to sell this. I'm trying to sell you guys to the audience here. I don't know.
Yeah, thanks for trying.
No worries.
So this is also so what I'm referring to is that if you do it too fast, it triples your input instead of doubling it. And you have to get really unlucky to hit it, but you can hit it. It's an execution thing. It is consistent. And when that happens, we'll overshoot. We'll go to, like, items, or we'll go to summon when we meant to go to Jin, or we'll go down 3 spaces in a menu instead of 2, and we call those doubled inputs, and they are incredibly frustrating. If you don't
can
expect
be Blueser and somehow get to defend.
Yeah. I don't even.
This is why I go left, dude. I go left on my 3s.
Nah.
And the thing, it works though. If you're doing defend, summon,
yeah.
You're like left. Yeah. Anyway, there's an old man. There's a guy. There's a guy there outside the inn. There's a guy right there by the ladder. Okay, remember him, and remember that girl inside the inn. Remember her? Yeah. There's a girl inside the inn. Just remember those as we go upstairs and creep out 2 bandits. These are bandits, as I said, they're bandits, and we've come to Vault because we're just looking forward to going somewhere else. We meet this young kid called Ivan. He's a bit weird, has the ability to read people's minds. Turns out he's also an adept. Should mention that Isaac is a Venus adept, Earth. Garrett is a Mars adept, Fire. And Ivan is a Wind adept, Jupiter. Or Jupiter adept, Wind. And he has the ability to read minds. And so what he's going to do is he's going to read the mind of these bandits, these shady characters who have shown up, to find out who stole some items from the people of Vault. And a family heirloom is missing, a religious icon is missing, and a very, very important item that Ivan has been safekeeping called the Shaman's Rod. Those are the things that have gone missing. We're trying to find them. Ivan does mind read and finds out that it is indeed those 3 who stole it, and it's somewhere in the inn. So remember the guy? He's not on the ladder anymore, but that woman, she's looking left, right, and shakes her head. She doesn't know where he is. Let's watch it on Blues. Left, right. Shakes her head. Where has he gone? Well, of course, he's no longer guarding the ladder because he's been thrown, in bindings into the roof of the inn, where the 3 items are. Okay.
So you want to tell us about the Bandits Fight?
I do want to tell you about the Bandits Fight. Okay, so this is the first kind of like big fight that we really get. The run doesn't start in earnest until after this fight and we get into the next dungeon, but this is the first fight that we're going to be doing. The bandits have up to 4 heals. There'll be items that the enemies can use, and they'll only be able to use items when previous items have been used. So you've got the main bandit leader in the orange in the middle, then you've got 2 thieves aside him in the purple. Obviously, we want to take down the bandit leader. The thieves on the side can heal at any point. However, the bandit leader has a smoke bomb first that he can use before he has 2 herbs. So it's very important that we can get those. We want to see as minimal healing as possible. The idea is to put all of our focus onto the bandit and do the splash damage from our spells onto the thieves on the side to hopefully get a kill. We're trying to count a little bit of damage. We're going to go Venus, Flare into Ray. That's how quick Plexa's menuing is. I know it's very attractive menuing. Same with Blueser as well. Very nicely input. We're going to be counting damage. Heal coming out for Plexa, not very good on that side. Smoke bomb used. The heal is on deck for the bandit leader on Blueser's side as well, but no extra healing it seems. No, there's a heal comes out and then an attack. Okay, not great. Slice comes out. Double proc on Ivan over on Plexa's side. Not too bad though. HP looking okay. A double proc onto Isaac would probably kill Blueser's Isaac, but that's fine. 1 bandit down, 2 thieves down, but there's a heal on the bandit, so he has to do a little bit more extra damage there. Smoke bomb finally comes out on Plexa's side as well, so he's going to be hoping to not see a heal. Garrett's in danger, but it's not majorly worrying right now. Looks like it's going to be fine. Summon Ray should be enough to, or goes for the attack. Slice! He's okay. There's the Venus, and that's not killed just yet. Flare comes out. Okay, should be a Ray to finish on Blueser's side, as Plexa takes down his bandit there. And wins that one. Okay, cool. Roughly the same. Good fights on both sides. Not the most amount of healing. I think it was like 2 heals for both of them in the end.
I had 3.
You had 3. Okay, I didn't see the third one. But both sub 50, 49, 42, and 49, 45. So very close. Good stuff. Right, I should talk about what I was talking about there, because there's a lot of stuff. Smoke bombs. Enemies that have multiple items have to use their items in order, so it's very important that when the smoke bomb comes out, that then the heal is on deck for the bandit. The bandit leader has the most HP, so him being healed affects the fight the most. A lot. 3 heals coming out is almost all of them for both runners, so it wasn't the best, but still getting a sub 50 bandits is very solid. So how does magic and damage work in this game? There was a lot to talk about, so I kind of did my best to cover both sides and both angles. But damage in this game is all about targeting. When you target an enemy, there'll be splash damage. So the main target you choose gets the brunt of the damage. And then there'll be either 3 width or 5 width or even 7 width moves that will hit further down the line. And the damage gets weaker and weaker and weaker as the splash damage fans out. So the target, we want to put all of our focus into the main guy because he's got most HP, and allow the splash damage to deal with the weaker thieves. So again, because of the healing, because of the main guy having the most HP, the heal on him is very important. Keeping an eye on damage rolls as well to see if you can focus to get a quick kill on one of the thieves as well, potentially if you need to cover damage. It's a nice thing to get Isaac to do that. So summoning is a very important thing in this game. The whole tutorial that we were talking about that Flint does. So Flint is our first Venus Ginny that we get, an Earthen Ginny. So the way that they work is that you will get a Ginny that you can then use in battle. When you equip Ginny to you, you can give Ginny to different characters, and when they're equipped to a character, they will give them abilities and stats, and increase your character's classes based on how many Ginny they have and what type of Ginny they have. So for example, Isaac is Earth. If you give him Flint, he will stay as a Squire, which is the Earth line. But if you give him 2 Venus Ginny, he'll class up from Squire to Knight. With 4, he'll go from Knight to Gallant, and with 6, he'll go from Gallant to Lord. And classes in that vein are stat multipliers. So it's 120% at Squire, or 110% at Squire, 130 at Knight, 150 at Gallant, 170 at Lord. So this is a percentage increase to the base stats. When you see level ups and all that kind of stuff happening, that's level ups to the base stats. Now, because of this class system, the game is balanced around this class system being utilized to increase the strength of our characters. So the base stats aren't that great. So, as well as levels, using the Ginny effectively to equip to your characters to gain stats is a big part of the balance in this game. If you use a Ginny in battle, because not only can they be equipped to give you stats, you can also use them to attack. So Flint, for example, if you use Flint, it is a physical attack with bonus elemental aspected damage. So Flint is physical plus a bonus of earth element damage. When you use a Ginny, they go from set to standby. And when they're standing by, you lose the stats that they give you, but they are ready to summon. And then you can summon elemental monsters of that element to deal damage to your opponent. But what you can then do is, as you gain more Ginny, you can pool those Ginny together and get 2, 3, or 4 of an element together to summon stronger and stronger monsters. So that's essentially what was going on. Summoning Venus early with Isaac allows him to get Flint back to then deal more damage. So there's like a rotation. Set, use it to go standby, summon in standby to go to recovery, and recovery back to set. So it's a nice little triangle of options there. Seems like both runners managed to get, without too much issue, to Goma Cave entrance. They'll be solving a few more puzzles here, and they'll be getting another cutscene from Ivan before they go into the run proper. This is like the final cutscene before the game, quote-unquote, begins for most runners. That was a lot of information to take in, and I appreciate that, and I apologise, and for those of you who have the patience for that, I greatly appreciate that.
That was fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
But yeah, it's very important to note that when it comes to the fact that these elements can be pulled together to deal massive damage, is that's how we're going to be dealing damage and fighting most bosses. Very rarely will we be using Ginny for the purposes of gaining stats and changing class to gain stats that way. It's actually going to be used to get as many summons together and try and summon rush the boss, or in most instances have a rotation of summons and Djinns consistently going, so we can use a summon, get the Djinn back to then ready them again to summon once more. Because a wonderful caveat of summoning is that when a character summons with that element, they will gain elemental power based on the level of summon they're getting to that elemental power. So, with Venus, level 1 Earth summon, the caster will get plus 10 elemental power, which increases the damage they deal with more Earth moves. So that when you summon again, it's a boosted summon. So the reason I say that now is because we will be talking about boosted summons and boosted spells, because it does affect how we deal with certain fights. Namely the first big boss fight of the game, Saturos, which everyone will know and love, because it's quite an iconic moment. So this is Goma Cave. Both of our runners are entering it right now. Ideally, we want to get one fight taken. If it's a fight that we have like Venus ready, basically, because Ray Venus. This is the perfect fight right here for Bluza. Skeleton Ghost. Ray into Venus will give him a nice chunk of experience and level up both Garrett and Isaac. Isaac we want to see hitting level 3, and ideally he gets in both level 2 and 3. He needs to get 1 agility plus 4. Stats aren't massively random, but they do fluctuate. So on average, it's HP 7, PP 3, attack 4, defense 2, agility 4. Now that can go down 1 or maybe up 1 for certain stats for certain characters, based on their archetype, based on the stat. But if Isaac gets at least 1 agility 4, he will outturn the next Ginny we're going to be fighting, Forge. If he gets a speed 3 at both level 2 and 3, Forge will outturn Isaac and makes for an incredibly scary fight against Forge. Because most Ginny, when we fight them, have increased abilities based on the norm or the normal kind of strength of the enemies around here. I haven't seen if Plexa's got his fight yet. Have you, mate?
No, Blue's creaming me right now.
Yeah, Blues is in good stead, so he's going to be fleeing. Getting those extra stats also increases our party's average level, which increases our run chance as well. At some point, Plexus is going to have to just take any old fight. He wants to get a good fight, so Garrett goes up 2, but if need be, if this next fight isn't a good fight, he's going to have to take it to get level 3 on Isaac.
Yes, we're doing level 2.
Or we're just going to go for level 2. Okay, that's going to be rough. So he's not going to outturn Forge, who's going to have to play a much more defensive game here. So Flint heal with Garrett just in case. Ray comes out blast, and it hits Ivan. Ivan will die to anything if blast is involved. So he's going to heal Ivan to make sure.
Yeah.
Venus attack Ray. Not looking good. Blast again. Venus attack Ray. Ooh! Yeah, you saved. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we should talk about the fact that this is no save and quit, right? This is a marathon. Things can go wrong. The main manipulation that we want to avoid is Yeah, that's not good. The main manipulation we want to avoid, and there's a flea on Balooza's side. The main manipulation we want to avoid is battle manipulation. This requires a hard reset. So we are going to allow ourselves certain fights to go in a particular way. We're going to save and do a soft reset only. This resets the general RNG, but not the battle RNG. The battle RNG is where we can manipulate the enemy movement. So we'll have certain saves for that reason. It looks like Balooza got his speed +4, so he's out-turning Forge on his side. Another blast. He is going ham on you. That should be fine, though, because there's... There we go. Yeah, he got it. Okay, so Plexa just comes out of that one. The flea from Balooza puts him just as far back as he already was. So, there we go.
Welcome to Golden Sun.
What a start.
There have been, and it may seem like, it's just an innocent Ginny at the start. Ivan is a wet tissue paper in a strong breeze, usually. But then, sometimes, the Ginny like to add to that weather report. He is our damage because he's the fastest, and agility is a massive stat in this game. That's why I mentioned it early on, because the difference between having Forge outturn Isaac and not is a huge swing in the strategies. Plexa makes it out of Goma Cave, whilst Balooza is failing to flee, which is a word I'll be saying quite a lot in this next split. That was a sub 1, just so you know, guys. So we got a Water of Life from the Vault Mare, and we also got the Bandit Sword. We're going to sell both of those. The Water of Life is a very rare revival item, and pretty much the only way we're going to be reviving in this game. However, early on, it's worth a metric butt ton of money, so we can then buy a lot of items in the biggest shop in the game, pretty much. So buy a longsword for both Isaac and Garrett to increase their damage, and then buy helms, gloves, and armor for Isaac, Garrett, and Ivan. Ivan gets gloves, but armor, helms, and gloves for Isaac and Garrett. The reason we grab these is because the upcoming boss fight has a lot of physical damage and very, very powerful physical damage. We're going to be doing it at a very, very low level, and we're going to be doing it out of the canon order, or the expected order of the game. The damage formula for this game is attack minus defense divided by 2. So every 2 points of defense we gain mitigates 1 damage from from the amount of damage we take. So essentially, with all that shopping done, Isaac and Garrett just gained about 30 to 40 defense. I think it's 40 with the open helm, I think. Because we normally don't buy that. I mean, is that right? I think it is.
No, we buy the helm. We just buy the helm, not the wooden cap.
Oh yeah. You do it in a slightly different order. Yeah. You guys have changed the menu up slightly to what I do. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's exactly the same, but we don't buy the wooden cap. The wooden cap gives you the most defense, but it's too expensive, and we're broke.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's. Oh yes, of course. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. But you go left is all rather than right. That's the thing. Yeah. Anyway, it's about 30 extra defense, which means it's 15 less damage. That may not seem like it's going to be that much, but you have a look at some of these damage rolls, and you can tell us what you think. Especially with this next segment, because there's a lot of encounters that we're not running from, and when you see yourself taking 1 damage rather than 16, you're going to be thanking us. You'll be seeing a lot of there was no escape. This next segment is one of the most frustrating for a lot of runners, especially when it comes to getting to the faster times, because there's a lot of swing here. Not only do we have the encounters that we're trying to flee from, there's the encounters that we're trying to avoid all together. This opening section here, we can actually skip encounters. Earlier on, during Soul Sanctum, Plexa and I were discussing to you the nature of the encounter rate in this game, where there's windows of opportunity, right? We have either a low end and a higher end of steps you can take based on the rate you get. Because of that, we can potentially get from one location on the world map to another without any encounters. The encounter rate is reset when we go from the world map to a sub map and then back off again. So running from Bilibin to Bilibin Barricade, and then from Barricade up to Column of Forest, which is where the guys are now, you can actually get no encounters. And if you get that encounter skip, that saves a ton of time. I think it's like 3 seconds just if you get the first time flee, but it could be even more based on how many times you fail to flee. So skipping encounters altogether is a massive boon. So the first one from Bilibin to Bilibin Barricade is a 50% chance that you'll get the encounter. Then from the barricade up to the forest is a 30% chance that we'll skip the encounter. 70% chance that you get it. That's quite hard. But this next one is a 70% chance that you skip the encounter from Kolyma Forest to Kolyma Village. Now, we're going to start talking about orders of stuff now because it's very, very important. We go and do this first. This is actually the canon way you're meant to do the game. The reason I say this is because many of you out there who are watching and going, but I went and did Imil first. Yes, you can go and do Mercury Lighthouse first. However, if you come here, there's water-resistant armor. There's a second Ginny for Ivan, and there are lower level enemies than over in Mercury Lighthouse. This is the intended way to go. Come here, find out the problem, search elsewhere to solve it, and come back. However, the developers did know that you could do it in any order. So if you come here later on, if you do Mercury Lighthouse first, and you have Mia in your party, she has dialogue in this cutscene. So by not getting her, it speeds up this cutscene. Further to this, we're doing this cutscene in Kolyma Forest and not in Kolyma Village. In Kolyma Village, the characters will walk around and search the village before the cutscene plays, which increases the length of this cutscene. So doing it here is actually faster. I should note that there are these synergy shields that come down and are protecting the guys. Never see it again in the series. Don't ask, doesn't matter. So we're going to be going into Kolyma Forest. It doesn't matter. I'm going to grab this apple. The apple is a strength increasing item, and it affects the base strength that you have. And this is going to allow us to just cover some damage ranges and make it a little bit safe. So Plexa running through the Kolyma basement. He's making his way over to the second Venus Ginny, Granite. Now this is the reason we're doing this as well. It's genuinely faster to come out of our way and do these minutes of cutscenes and come and get Granite for a couple of reasons. Granite is a busted Ginny, and it also allows us to unlock the secondary tier of Venus summon, Ramses. Granite on use is a priority Ginny, which means that when you use Granite, he will go at the top of the turn, regardless of who uses it, regardless of the speed of the user, it's priority. Boom. So Garrett is slow as molasses, doesn't matter, he's using Granite, so he's going to go first. But this also means that we can pull two Ginny together to get Ramses, which is a much stronger summon, and rather than a 10% elemental increase, we get a 30% elemental increase, further increasing the damage done when we do boosted abilities. The time that we spend to get Granite is made up for by the time we reach the next boss fight, let alone doing the boss fight. That's disgusting. That's how much stronger Ramses is. So we're going to keep running. I'm not sure how I wasn't catching Blues's. Yeah, he's still in there.
It's going fantastic.
He's still in there. So, yeah, it's quite nuts. This is where we're talking about variance, right? These encounters and failing to flee is just pain. It's pain.jpg. Horse looking at the sea.jpg. You know, that kind of thing. Man, it's this is painful. I'm really sorry, mate. This is not the kind of stuff.
Holy shit!
It's okay. Yeah, I feel you, dude. So flee chance. Let's talk about that. I was talking about how it's calculated. However, when you fail to flee, you gain a flat 20% chance to flee, and that's not 20% of what you had. It's not like if it's 50% and you fail to flee, you go up to 60%. No, if you get 50 and then you fail to flee, it goes up to 70, and it goes up to 90. When you fail to flee 4 times in a row, you're failing like 90% chance to flee. It's gross. It's gross. So, Blueser is getting bodied. We're talking like, choke slammed. like off the ropes, just kind of like body slammed.
Stop, he's already dead.
Plexa is in Bilibin Cave. And,
stop.
Blues is entering Bilibin again. That is awful. So this is where we're actually going to start transitioning from a flee perspective to a combat perspective. And the reason we do that is because Ramses is good. Look at that, instant kill, lovely. Very, very quick animation as well. Because we're holding down B in battle, we're skipping all the text as soon as possible and skipping as many cutscenes for the summons as possible. Some we do have to watch, some we don't. So we are going to be getting as much experience as we possibly can at this point. Some of the runners maybe will be fleeing when we get to Mercury Lighthouse because they're nuts. But there is a reason to potentially do that because of how damage works out because of the apple. But yeah, we want to get a couple of levels. We want to get level 5 on Ivan and level 4 on the other two, just as soon as possible. This puts Isaac in a position to outspeed as well as certain enemies, as well as Ivan to outspeed particular enemies as well. It should be noted that we're also shifting around the Jin locations. We're actually putting Gust onto Isaac. And I guess it gets shifted around to Garrett as well to ensure particular outturns. There is an argument for shifting it around. So right now it's on Isaac. I've never, the words I was looking for ages, and they finally arrived. Where Plexa turned to me and said, "Bowie, you were right." And I was like, I did it. At long last, Senpai noticed me. So gnomes are really annoying. They have AoE spells. They're really, really fast. And if you get quads of them, you just run and cry. You may remember a 4-way race where I got bodied by that. It was great. Looking like a good Emil approach. I think that's his second encounter for Plexa. Only going to get 2 on the way to Emil. Looking pretty nice. Single Mauler for Blueser. That's a nice encounter. Nice and quick. Not too much to worry about. It was a CBS though. So 2 attack types. We'll bring it up now. CBS and attack first. Or CBS and AF. Attack first is a preemptive.
What about Lost Cap?
Lost Cap. Lost Cap. Please post your Lost Caps in chat now. Lost Cap is a fantastic thing. We'll talk. Did you just get an attack first?
No, I just fleed. I just.
Okay.
Had enough, mate.
Good stuff. So attacks first are preemptives, which means that you can just guarantee your flee. This is really good at late game. If you get late game AFs, you save like 20 seconds plus. CBS is a caught by surprise, which means that the enemies get the preemptive on you, which means that end game you die. And if it comes to like early game, you lose a bit of time, but you never want to see a CBS. What is Lost Cap? Lost Cap is that snowman. Normally you're meant to use the move synergy and then press left, but wait there, more and more important content. Primula! Look at that. That fairy, the Ply sprite, I know that you're all going to hate me, I'm sorry for this. The Ply sprite that shows up when you cast Ply is a Shining Force 3 reference. In Shining Force 3, Scenario 3, Chapter 5, you meet up with Gabriel, the wizard who's in the beginning screen of the game, and he has a little fairy companion with him, and he sends Primula, that fairy, with you. She's an amazing healer and also has the attack spell, and she says wonderful things like, "Attack you!" when she casts it. It's wonderfully cute. But that sprite is Primula from Shining Force 3. And I always talk about that because it's very important. Anyway, Lost Cap. If you press move and move the snowman left, it blocks the way so you can get to Fever. However, the devs didn't plan you to do anything else but move him left. But if you don't move the snowman, just cancel move, the hitbox moves down already, and the snowman loses his cap. So Lost Cap. Yeah. Anyway, Shining Force 3 is a fantastic strategy RPG, one of the best strategy RPGs ever made alongside Shining Force 2. There's not a better strategy RPG. Try and change my mind. Play them. Welcome to the Mercury Lighthouse. This is Mia. She's awesome. She's got wonderful hair, and she's a healer. And we love her. She's great. However, she struggles with things that need moving. So we need to use the move synergy to move it, and she'll cast Primula again. And we're going to save her a bunch, and then she'll join our party. But she's very, very important.
She's a Mercury adept, Bowie. That's why she is impressed by move, because every single Mercury adept in the series is impressed by it.
Yeah, genuinely, yeah. I think, Piers loves it. Amity's a little bit ooh as well. So yeah, they just don't stop being.
And the dudes in Lemuria.
Oh yeah, and the dudes in Lemuria too. Yeah, they're just like, wow, what is this ghostly hand? They love it for some reason. So Lizardman is very, very simple. Ramses, Kirin. You can do flex strats based on whether or not you need to menu or not. If you don't need to menu, and you're fine, just go straight in. But if you do need to set things up, you can set the menu up differently and do a different strategy depending on what you need to do. When I say flex strats, I mean flexible, not flex as in like check me out. Not TL_flexer over here. Which leads me to the next big mechanic in this game, and the next big glitch in this game. Plexa actually has Isaac's PP very low. Ha ha ha, PP, I get it. Synergy points, get over it. I'm going to be saying PP a lot. Retreat casts 6 PP. However, we can do something cool when our PP is below 6. So because we can hotkey retreat, there's a cool thing that's going to happen. We're going to cast retreat, but it's not going to work because we didn't have enough PP. But we tried to cast retreat, and the game went, yeah, you cast retreat. So there we go. What's happening here is the game, when we cast retreat, the game thinks we're in a different room, basically, because we don't go anywhere because we didn't cast retreat, because we didn't have enough PP to cast it. But the moment you say yes, the game immediately casts it in its memory. So it puts you back to the beginning screen of the dungeon you entered on. So when you go to a door or a staircase that has a number attached to it, it's the number that is found on the opening screen of the dungeon, not the screen you're on. And this causes you to warp around dungeons. And this completely breaks particular dungeons. Specific ones just get completely knackered. Some of them are more convenient. So what we're going to go and do here is going to go and make our way quickly over to the Sleet Ginny to get the second Ginny for Mia. So we have 2 Mercury Ginnies. So we can get the second Mercury summon. But there's a lot of saving going on here because these fights can be quite tricky. You can flee these. I'm glad neither of our runners are doing that. I'm really proud of you both.
Oh, you say that?
Oh, well, you're going to now because that's those 2. Yeah. There are some fights you don't want to flee from because you will just die. But also there's
actually one of the fights you don't want to flee from. That fight is like one of the scariest.
Really?
So is this one, by the way. Yeah, cuddles are scary.
Yeah, this is Sleet. Sleet is powerful. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do Plasma, Fever, and Kirin with the Apple on Isaac used. He's going to have a little bit of extra damage so that Fever can deal a bit more, and Kirin coming out from Garrett. We're making this a 2-turn fight because Mia outturns because she's in the Jupiter class right now, which has increased speed. So she outturns. Make that a 2-turn with the Ramses on the second turn. To go again. So we're going to have the same thing coming out from Bluza, Plasma, Fever, and Kirin. Now, here's a very important thing as well. We're going to do a normal retreat as well back. When we summoned Kirin, we didn't have enough Ginny ready. We only had 1 Ginny standing by, so we couldn't cast summon. However, we know for a fact that Isaac goes first. So we use Fever with Isaac to stand by a second Ginny, so when Garrett's turn comes around, we have the Ginny requirement. That is a massive element of flexibility in this game's battle system, which sets this game apart as just an absolute cracker. The flexibility of that system to work in that way is really important. Now, the next boss fight coming up is Saturos, a really important boss fight. And Sam, after this boss fight, I'll bring you in for some donations. I know I've been cracking on for a while. I really do apologize. But this next fight is super important. The setup is right now that we have both the Venus and Mercury Ginny spread between Isaac and Garrett. Isaac has Flint, Garrett has Granite. Isaac has Fizz, and then Garrett has Sleet. And that means that we can put all of the Fire Ginny onto... What have you done? You didn't use the mint, did you?
Bluza has level 5 Isaac for Saturos.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Good luck, buddy.
This is a different thing. So yeah, I think this is where the Apple strat's coming onto Isaac helps here as well to kind of cover some ranges.
Blue got extremely unlucky to not get level 6. Like there's like a 10 experience window or something ridiculous like that where you just missed level 6 for this fight. The biggest difference is he won't have Spire for this fight. He'll have Earthquake. Right. Plus, generally less survivability on Heat Flash. It's winnable.
I'm not worried about the damage. Yeah. I have a Crystal Powder, but yeah, it's the...
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's the getting wrecked.
It's winnable. Yeah.
That's fair.
With the wrong seed, anything can happen.
That's fair. So the rest of the setup as well is that we have double Fire Ginny on Ivan. This puts Ivan into Tier 2 Fire class, makes him really fast and really tanky specifically. Funnily enough, he's normally a wet paper bag, but now he is actually going to be our tank. And Mia is in Jupiter class to make her outspeed as well. Now, the focus is going to be Mia summoning Nereid whenever she can because she's boosted on that one, and then obviously Isaac summoning Ramses. Saturos has a set pattern. Attack, Heat Flash, Fireball, attack, Fireball, Heat Flash, attack, Eruption. The first turn is going to go as such. Ramses, Granite, / Nereid to put as much damage as possible. Granite is going to reduce the damage taken by the entire party by 50%. This is why he's busted. He's priority, but he's also defensive. So everyone's going to be looking kind of nice. Nereid comes out, 150 and 54 damage, plus 30 to Mia's water power. Slash comes out, he's going to start with Heat Flash. Okay, that could be an attack follow-up. it could be a fireball follow-up. So we have to plan accordingly. We're going to know where we are on the turn order after the second turn. So Prism coming out, that's going to be boosted. We're having a heal coming out from Ivan as well to make sure that Isaac is fully healed on that side and then as much damage as possible elsewhere. Right, let's have a look at Blue's first turn as well. Attack, which means there's going to be Eruption coming up next for Plexa. He has to be quite careful there. So the first turn coming out from Bluza, we'll keep an eye on that one just to see what Saturos does. Eruption comes out, good defense. Mia and Ivan, that's really good that it's only 2 targets there. Very important to note that because it's going to be 2 single target attacks on the next 2 turns, which means that we can be a little bit more aggressive. Heat Flash as well for Bluza on turn 1. Is he going to get the fireball? Is he going to get the attack? We'll have to see. Fizz coming out to heal up Isaac, that's very nice, and Sleet. So again, Fizz and Sleet have been used, which means that Mia can now do another near read, which is very, very lovely. Fireball for Bluza. Okay, so he's going to be going from Fireball to attack. Perfect as well. End target, so it only targeted 3 characters, not 4. Very, very nice. So there's Flint, there's no Granite. There's going to be an attack from Garrett here for Plexa, so that he can do again the Granite into Ramsey's summon, which means that he doesn't stagger and like break the usage of all of these Ginny. I'm going to leave Plexa for a moment. I'm going to come over to Bluza. So Sleet, again, he's going to be on a different one. So he just saw the attack coming out. So it's going to be another Fireball turn here. So Granite's going to come out to protect him from Fireball. And he's going to have his Granite come back in time for Eruption. So there's Near Read coming out. And then it's going to be Ivan healing Garrett to make sure that Garrett doesn't die. Herb's going to be enough. Here comes the second Fireball. 3 targets again, perfect, very, very lovely. Now, this is important for Heat Flash. Ivan can survive Heat Flash. Mia and Garrett cannot at this point. It's very important to know your damage ranges so that you know who's in danger of a move or not. It goes on to Isaac, that's completely fine. Isaac is in a scary position because of him being a level lower. But Fizz and Sleet are back, so he's going to be fine. I'm going to leave Bluza for now and go back over to Plexa very, very quickly. Fireball coming out, I think that's the first Fireball. So he should be quite close to the end of this fight now. Ramses comes out. That should be the fight. Prism, Ramses coming out from the top 2. That's the fight. Very, very nicely done from Plexa. Just missing out on the sub 120 though. It's looking like a 120 10, so that's pretty nice.
Okay.
Low 120 is really good. The sub 120 is a really, really good position. There's a Venus coming out and then the near read because he knows where the damage range is. Doesn't need to worry about healing. Gets the kill. 2 very good Saturos from both of our runners. GG's, boys.
Whew, spooky.
Yeah, both sub. Well, yeah, both 120s. A 120-10 and a 120-35. So 25 seconds between them both. Both good fights. These are good times. Obviously, runners want to look for a sub 120, and if you're an absolute madman, a sub 119 or 118 Saturos is bloody good. So a mid 120 is fantastic. With that, I'm gonna rest my voice, and I'm gonna throw it over to Sam for some donations. Please save me from breaking my throat.
I will do just that, and I do have a couple of donations to get through. We have a $15 donation from Future that says donating $5 for each runner going for the fur coat, of course, only if they want to go for it, and another $5 because Bluezer and me have an oddly similar taste in beverage and snacks when it comes to staying awake. Good luck to both runners, hoping for a close race, and great job, Bowie, on the commentary so far. We have a $5 donation from Nashlax that says, seeing as the intro is 40 minutes, it's time for a history lesson to pass the time. Camelot used a magic flint to light the ember that forged Golden Sun from the ground up. It blew up a gust and brought a fresh breeze into the RPG genre. Now, we're fevering for a new game. Camelot, take the dew out of our eyes and rise the mist on that 4th game with a flash. I must be getting older because the story keeps getting longer. That's it for me. Wish I could watch it live if it wasn't for Corona. Good luck on the run, Plexa and Bluezer. First try Kraken.
Thank you very much for those lovely donations.
Yes, thank you very much.
All of those Ginny, obviously there was like loads of Ginny names in there, and there is a Ginny called Corona, so interesting how that works out.
I am going to go for the fur coat, by the way. So please, people who pledged money for that, looking at you, Future, looking at you, FX.
If you have some more, Sam, we do have a little bit more time, or any plugs you need to read as well.
All right, we have a $9.93 donation from RoboSparkle. Thank you so much for that generous donation. No comment. Also, we do still have the Job Simulator All Jobs Bouncy Job mod bid still in effect here. We are less than $320 away from reaching that $1,000 goal. So if you'd like to see that during Pathetic's run, get your donations rolling in now. Thank you.
Elemental Stars plays during this moment. Okay, Plexa, is he going to go for the time-neutral, swaggerlicious fast drop?
Fine.
Let's go.
There we go.
There it is. Perfect. Fast drops and fast climbs are super nice. Just quickly, going to do a quick menu here to put 2 Mercury onto Isaac. This puts him into Defender class, the Tier 2 Swordsman class, which gives him Ply, but also gives him Avoid, which is going to be helpful in certain places. Just reset the encounter on Emil, because it does help. It doesn't give you a bonus chance to get a 1 encounter run back. That may not happen here. Is Blues are going to go for it? He does not.
I tried.
Coward.
Yeah.
Coward.
Well, no, he does what I do, right? Where you get onto it.
You try it once.
You give it 1 go. Yeah, literally 1 go.
Right, I committed to it.
How instant climbing and instant dropping works is that you push one direction for, let me guess, it's 13, right? 13 frames one direction, and on the 14th frame, the opposite direction. Because basically what you do is 13 frames of input up to kind of get off the ladder starts the animation to get off. But then you press down on the immediate frame it starts to just drop off the ladder completely. You can do that going up, you can do that going down. Doesn't save too much time, but it's pretty sweet. TL Flexer.
If you miss the test, man, you just go for every one of them. So
yeah, of course, yeah. Mr. Taskman.
And shout outs to Velissa, who originally found the mechanic that does that.
It's pretty sweet. TL's very own Sir Dr. Mr. Plexa has been working very hard to make sure he can get these. Are you alright there, buddy?
What's going on?
This. Okay, I got 2 quads. Both failed 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? So Avoid was used by Plexa just now. Avoid, the easiest way I guess I can explain it is for the Pokemon heads out there, it works like Repel. When you cast Avoid, you need to make sure that your party's average level is higher than the enemy level of the area you're in. If that is the case, if party average level equals more than enemy party level, then no encounter steps are taken. No, steps don't add. So the world map here is all encounter free. In this first screen, Avoid ran out, but we're not going to recast it.
It's runner's choice. You can recast it. It does work on the screen.
This first screen it does work on if you're that 1 level lower, but you can sometimes, if you have enough encounters and you get enough experience, Ivan will hit the level we want him to hit 8 a little bit early. And if he does, he'll learn Plasma, which is why we know he's there. But if he does, it shifts the entire party's average level up to level 8. And it means that we can then essentially skip encounters in the entirety of this dungeon. Because enemy level in dungeons increases as you go into the dungeon for most dungeons. There might be some dungeons where that's not the case, but generally the first screen will be a little bit easier, then it'll get worse and worse as you go in. So it's level 6 for the first screen, then level 7 for the rest of these screens. You need to be level 8 in order to avoid. It used to be a thing where you try and go for level 8 if you knew you could, but it works out on average faster just to flee. So there's this thing, obviously expected value, right, where we have 2 options, and it may work out better for us to do one strategy than another on average. It's not worth the extra time to get Ivan the extra experience he needs if you don't come out. Normally you need to be level 7 going into Saturos to have a chance, otherwise you don't bother. A couple of fail fleas there for Plexa. Makes his way to the Willow. He's going for it.
Yeah, of course I'm going for it.
He's going to try and get the remote access. There's a very particular pixel he's looking for. There we go. You don't have to
No, it's not a pixel. It's not a pixel.
It's not a pixel?
Okay, so Isaac has 8 directions he can face, but there are actually 16 directions. It's just that a bunch of them overlap. So if you are on the up left but slightly facing down pixel, you can access that chest from that pixel location.
Pixel?
Which is really, really strange. It took me a long time to figure that out. But it's getting that fur coat's relevant in the any percent save and quits run, which is now ACE, because the ACE is done using your defense value, and it's just a really convenient thing to have. And please, if you're in the Golden Sun Discord, plug those guys. Please clip that and tag FX in future so they cough up the dough.
Money.
Money.
Yeah. Plexa is then entering Treachery, where it's a level 7 start on the levels, and then we're going to go into level 8 from here on out. So this is Treachery, which we could have done earlier if we really wanted to. There are 2 goals in here. Going to grab a second Ginny of the Jupiter variety, Breeze, and that will give us access to Atalanta, the tier 2 wind summon. Very, very lovely. And Ivan will obviously... Oh, he's going for another one. Okay, that's fair. And then we're going to go and fight Tret. Now, the reason we go in... Well, obviously, we go and grab Granite so we can do a fast to Turos. So we can go and get the spring water, or the Hermes water, rather, from the Mercury Lighthouse and bring it over here to save Tret. I didn't really talk about it back at the time because it didn't really feel that relevant at the time, because we go and do it now. And that's... Tret wasn't always an angry tree. He turned the people of Kolyma to trees because after the eruption at Mount Aleph, when we went inside the Mount... very nice. Flex, showing his stuff. Went inside... when we were in Sol Sanctum, it caused another eruption, and synergy stones were thrown throughout. Was that an attack first on...
It was.
On Breeze. Hello.
Shoutouts to the guy who I'm dedicating my name to for the strat. It saves time.
His name is not Avus, his name is Savu, by the way.
No, it will make sense on the next one.
It will make sense, yeah. So yeah, new strats for Breeze, very lovely. I'm not sure if Breeze is going to do this or stick to the old ones. The old ones are very, very simple. They're just 3 summons, nice and easy, but... Oh, hello. A Quinn. Is that what it is?
Oh, those encounters are awful.
We got away. We got a stun onto Ivan, but he didn't die, so that's good. So yeah, we got Blues are coming up to his Breeze fight. We're going to see how that's going to go. So we did mention earlier that Ginny can flee, and this can be anywhere between, a 3-second or a 5-second time loss or a minute time loss. Not kidding. Some fleas are brutal, and it's a bit mean. So we'll see if Breeze plays nice for Blueser as he goes into the fight now. So what he's going to do, he's going to do the, Ramses, Kieran, defend with Ivan, and then near read with Mia. This because Ivan's the only one that can outturn, we let Breeze go first. We'll see if he gets the run before we use our summons. So that works fine. Nothing happened as we have Plexa entering about to start the cutscene before the Tret fight. Now, this fight's a little bit different. We're going to have a nice little setup here. We have Flint and Fever over on Isaac. I'll let him focus on this particular strat quickly, just get that done. Sleet Gust, Granite Fizz, and Gust and Breeze. Okay, so this is an interesting strat. We're going to be just peppering enough damage to kind of hope we can get through. We haven't got Plasma on Ivan, so we're going to start with Atalanta on Ivan. We're going to do Kieran with Mia, Fever with Isaac. Right now, Isaac outturns Mia because he's currently in Brute class because of Fever being set right now, which is a fast thing. So Fever goes first, Mia then summons Kieran. Then we have Garrett using Flare Wall because it's the tier 2 fire. Also, we put Mia into slot 1. Attack, nice, no Sleep Star. That's what we want to see. So turn 2 is going to be... I didn't quite see that one there. It should be Flint. And it should be Ramses, there. And then Flare Wall. Put out as much damage into the first 2 turns as possible. So we get an easy turn on turn 3. Ooh, not too bad, I think. With enough damage, that should be okay. Plasma, defense, that should be enough. Ooh, okay. Maybe a follow-up attack from Ivan, but you never know. Sleep, though, does come in and add 1 turn to the fight. Might as well just do that, and then Flash Bolt. That should be enough, though. Flash Bolt. Wow, okay. Gust! Okay, got the kill. There we go. Gus came back to make Garrett fast enough to outturn, so Gus is nice there. A bit of an unfortunate one on the double sleep. Opening turn again for Blues are pretty much the same thing. Again, Atalanta, Fever, Kirin, and then Thorn. Good start. I mean, anything's better than Sleep Star. Blues has seen a lot of those in his time. Ramses, Flint, Flare Wall, Ray. So again, the Atalanta being cast by Ivan allows for increased Ray damage, which is helpful, and also Gust comes back onto Garrett. Forge goes first, I think, yeah, because of his setup. There we go, and a nice Fever kill, very lovely. Gets the extra experience as well. I'll talk about that just now then. Rainbow kills. What are rainbow kills? Rainbow kills are a kill that when you defeat an enemy using a Ginny attack of the element the enemy is weak to. Tret is weak to fire, being a tree and all. So Fever is a fire aspected physical attack. By killing Tret with a fire attack with a Ginny, there's a chance the enemy will flash rainbow colours before they die. What this does is increases gold dropped, experience gained, and increases the drop chance if an enemy can drop an item. Many of you who may have played this game casually in the past may know about, reset strats to get rainbow kills in order to guarantee particular item drops that you can then get to, get things like the Kiku Ichimonji, which is a very, infamous weapon in this game. But the rainbow kills are a very important thing. This is what obviously Plexa wanted to try and do but didn't get because he had Isaac and Garrett slept on turn 2 with Sleep Star. Rainbow kills gain a little bit of extra experience. Because this game has taken a bit more of an approach to fleeing in particular locations because of expected value, we're finding ourselves falling behind in the experience game. To that end, we need to make up the experience somehow. Therefore, particular boss fights have been rerouted and reorganized to try and force rainbow kills in order to get the bonus experience, to make up for that experience loss. Also, a fun fact for those who may be seeing this game for the first time: how would you know what an enemy is weak to? Well, there are different punctuations given whenever you attack an enemy. There will be a single full stop, a single exclamation mark, or triple exclamation mark. A full stop at the end of the sentence when you attack an enemy means that they're strong against the element used. So if you use plasma and they're strong against wind, it'll just do dealt 63 damage, and then full stop. An exclamation mark means they're neither weak nor strong against an element, they're just neutral. If there's 3 exclamation marks, the enemy is weak to that element. So there's a visual tell for you if you're either not in the know or going to play this game for the first time and are curious. That's how you know. So Blueser didn't have enough PP to cast Retreat, but because of Retreat glitch, you can just climb back into Treachery and it warps you back out. It's a lovely failsafe that both of those options work. We're now going to be making a bit of one of the only real specific detours that doesn't actually affect MSQ progress here. You don't need to do this bit. We're going in to Fushien Temple, and Fushien Temple is completely optional. Now, as a casual player, you wouldn't know how to get through Mogul Forest, and Fushien Temple Cave does have an item that allows you to figure out the puzzle. However, Mogul Forest is a set pattern, it's never different. So because we know what that is, we don't need to go and get the Force Gem to use Force in order to get through Mogul Forest. However, we are still going to go into Fushien Falls Cave. The reason for this is we have a third all-bloody Nora. That's not looking good for Blue.
Welcome to Golden Sun.
Yeah, welcome to Golden Sun. Poor Blues are there, unfortunately falling, or Garrett falling, but there's a healer right here, so it's fine. But the reason we're going into Fushien Falls Cave is we're going to be getting our third Jupiter Ginny specifically. That is an encounter on that screen. That is poo. Please flee. Please go away. Okay, good. That could have easily been a dead Isaac. We're going to be going to get our third Jupiter Ginny. I'll talk about that in a bit because we're going to do another retreat glitch. Now, the retreat glitch does not affect this screen. This screen has a bridge. Now, what you're meant to do is kind of create fire to see the bridge, but the bridge is always there. We know where the bridge is, so it's fine. Retreat glitch takes us from that screen to the screen where Zephyr is. This is Zephyr. Zephyr sucks. Zephyr likes to run away all the time because he sucks. So we'll see if Plexa gets lucky or not. Ramses, Kieran. Oh, sorry, no, Nereid, Ramses, Kieran, and Nereid, Fever, Kieran, Ramses. Did not flee, so that's good on Plexa's side. We'll see how Bluesy does when he gets there. It's going to be good luck for one person. We'll have to see.
It's an 11% chance for any Jin to flee. It doesn't feel like 11%.
No, not at all.
Oh, we got to skip both.
It's good. No encounter for Blueser, so it does make up a little bit of extra time. He's going to cast Growth here because it spends 4 PP, then it's fastest, so that's pretty nice. There's the retreat glitch for Blueser. Through he goes. Plexa is out of Fusion Temple with his Tier 3 summon. This is the most important thing. The Tier 3 Jupiter summon is is the fastest thing you can do in the game that isn't attack. It's ridiculously fast. It is very, very powerful as well. It's a Tier 3, which means that it deals lots of damage. An attack for Blueser, no flee. Very good. So watch this. Proc knee, and then Flash Bolt. So Flash Bolt comes through, and then Proc knee. Now you see it, now you don't. Now you see the enemies, now you don't. Nice and easy. The reason we're going to go into a bit more of an attacking stance is for this reason. Proc knee just murders stuff. Very, very fast. And we've also dispersed the Ginnies, so we have one Jupiter Ginny on Mia, on Isaac, and on Garrett. This means that every single tick you hear, when we have a Ginny in recovery, you may hear a little like ting. That sound is Ginny recovering. Perfect. Proc knee straight down the center. Dead. As you can see, the triple M exclamation marks are all weak to Jupiter. So when you hear the tick, bing, into the menu, and we're going to be setting Forge on Mia. This is very important. The fire class of Mia increases her agility quite a lot and gives her access to Prism and Drench. Douse. These are very, very fast spells, as well as speeding up Mia as well. So if we do need Mia to follow up damage, because there are certain enemy types that do not die to the splash damage on proc. Everything will die on target, but there are certain things that will not die to the splash. And if that happens, we need Mia to either be the summoner to finish off the damage, and then have Ivan just throw out a little bit of extra damage, or vice versa, depending on who's faster. So we're going to go for
again. Shoutouts to the guy whose my name actually resembles now for this strat. It saves time.
Mm-hmm. We used to do a lot of summoning. We used to do just all like Proc knee, Fever, Nereid. But now we do Proc knee, Flash Bolt, Prism, and Fever. I think it is for the extra.
I think Blue's still going to do the old strat, but yeah.
But that strat is a newer one. It's slightly faster. It's nice to see different strats. No run for Quartz though for Plexa, so we'll have to see. This is one of the worst fleas in the game. I'm sorry to bring it up right now before Blue's past it. I really shouldn't say that. Because you have to run all the way out and you're probably going to get another encounter. It's about a minute time loss.
It's 11. Yeah, it's a really terrible time loss.
Attack. Was that a CBS? Oh
CBS,
my God.
Yeah.
Splatter. And it wasn't on Ivan. That's so lucky. I do enjoy when you're 2 minutes ahead after Zephyr, because everything went fine. You get to Quartz and he just does, CBS insta kills Ivan. You're like, oh, cool.
Guess
Thanks for coming.
The intro again.
Yeah.
Oh, I've always wanted to see the intro.
A lot of intro on Blue's stream.
Reminder for those who have just joined us as well, CBS means caught by surprise, and that is a back attack for the enemy, which means that we have to tank a hit before anything goes on. Okay, this item that Plexa has picked up is perhaps one of the most important items in the game, because agility is the most important stat. The Elven Shirt is a defense upgrade, yes, but it increases our agility, it multiplies our base agility by 50% of its base. So if you have 100, you're going to go up to 150, and then that's modified by the class you're in. So wonderful. Agility is going to mean that we can have very specific out-turns and allow people to, out-turn certain enemies. We will be shifting that Elven Shirt around because different priority of speed is going to be needed at different points in the run. Because characters that we need to outspeed will naturally outspeed, so we need to augment someone else's speed so that they can outturn the enemies as well, or outturn to a point specific enemies. Okay, we got Killer Ape coming up next for Plexa as Bluza picks up his Jobby Bosch Elven Shirt. This is cool. We're going to have Zephyr, Fever, and Granite all set for those three. So Zephyr, again, at this point, this is where we're going to start having interesting things. We're trying to get into summons, but we're going to have setups to begin with. So Zephyr increases our speed, Fever for extra damage, and then Granite to keep us protected on that first turn. That gives us a nice opening gambit on that turn, but then it also gives us loads of summons to play with for the next following 2 turns. There is a move we want to watch out for is Warcry from the Killer Ape, which stuns a character. If they haven't taken their turn, they will lose their turn. Bind. On Isaac, that's fine, didn't even work, so it's whatever. Fever. This has changed. So you can sometimes use Flare Wall, but we're going for the Kirin strats. This is again to set up for a Fever finish, which allows for another rainbow kill. So we used to do like Flare Wall here and just do summons on the second turn, but by Garrett using that on turn 1, it means that we're going to get the Fever. We're going to get Fever back early. So there's going to be as much damage coming out as possible. So Procne, Cybele, Nereid, and then we're going to have Flare Wall coming out from Garrett on turn 2. Ransack, not on Ivan. Okay, good. Flare Wall is going to be boosted. That's extra damage, which means that we are going to be able to be in a position for Fever to get that boosted kill. Let's have a look. Ransack on Isaac for the first turn for Bluza. Granite's going to protect him there, so that's nice. Plasma! Rainbow kill for Plexa. Very, very nice. If anyone gets the Plasma reference, then you're great. Procne, Nereid, Cybele, or the Time Lossosaurus, as we like to call it. Oh, Jesus, dude. Isaac is getting outturned by the Killer Ape. This sometimes happens, and this is very scary. There's a particular position right now, by the way, that Plexa is looking for. I'll talk about that in a bit when Bluza does it, because I want to watch Bluza's fight instead. You can instead be wowed by Plexa as he's doing this. I'll describe it in just a moment.
This is going to be sketchy.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, mate. That is definitely sketch.
Okay, then.
Jesus, dude. No rainbow, though. So they're traded off on rainbows. No rainbow for Bluza there, but he did get the rainbow earlier, so a bit of extra experience. That was very, very scary. Okay. Wonder what Plexa's doing. He's doing a safety strat. He's going to go and pick up this bad boy right here. 3,000 coins. Buy ourselves a Water of Life. So we're going to have to be sorting out our Djinn to get our characters into some tier 2s to keep ourselves safe. Now, what's happening is this is a sub-pixel thing. If you're standing in the right position and then you cast Frost here, we use a visual cue to get this right. Cast Frost, press down left, and you'll actually clip to the top of the Frost pillar, like that. This is a much more prominent thing that you may have seen in Golden Sun: The Lost Age, the sequel to this game. This is the only time you can really do it here in Broken Seal, which is the subtitle of the first game in Japanese. Sorry, but yeah, Golden Sun 1 for the Broken Seal. That said, we've got Plexa beating up another cute Ginny because he's angry. Procne Neptune, nice and easy. That's a lovely fight. You'll have to see that one, don't you? Really, really nice. Again, we're characters are in tier 2s just to increase the survivability here. There's a lot of monkeys that use Ransack, and there's a lot of fleeing going on. So it's very, very tricky, these fights. We just set the Venus Ginny on Ivan just so he tried to flee but didn't. That's good. No healing required. But that extra Ginny on Ivan gives him enough HP to survive a move that we normally don't want to see. So yeah, just a lot of survivability options being added in here. That is not good. Flee. Okay, got away. So that's Corona. Make your jokes now. It's not going to last. It's over. Corona's a pretty fun Djinn. Lowers defense, I think. Caught by surprise! Increases defense, sorry. probably thinking of there's a move that there's a fire genie that does that.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of Jin that do that.
Fire, it hits fire.
Torch, I think.
Torch, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. I just remember the screen going hazy, right, and just blowing up. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna grab some water for a bit. Either Run if you want to continue, or Sam if we have some donations. Let's hear them, because I want to hit 49k on this run. Let's go.
I do have a couple donations, if that's okay, with Blueser and Plexa. All right. We have a $5 donation from FX that says, "Hey, Plastic got the fur coat."
Could have been 10, Blueser. Could have been 10.
We have a $5 donation from Future. Good job, Plexa. Paying up. Also, shout outs to Blueser dodging my first donation and now the fur coat.
Did it anyway. What a guy. Thanks, Future.
We also have a $45 donation from Kenny K. Roll. This mod for Job Simulator sounds fun, so let's support that incentive and save the kids. And that donation, of course, went to the Job Simulator Bouncy Job mod, which is still open, still accepting donations and bids. We are $270 away from it, so let's get that going.
Much
Do I hear you groaning, Plexa?
Yeah, I started the fight without the menu because I A-pressed instead of doing good things, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'm feeling the pain.
There are two ways to open the menu: A and select. When you're standing in front of something that you interact with when you press A, don't press A to open the menu.
Yeah.
As you'll see, Plexa is now having an absolute nightmare fight, and then Blue might be able to take the lead, maybe.
He probably will off this.
So what you're meant to do is Fever to open, a little bit of damage, Procning, and then Tiamat. Sorry, I've got the world reignited thing on in my ears. There's Ramses as well, and then Tiamat to finish off. Nice bit of extra damage, and there we go. Blueser is in the lead. Plexa just finishes now as well. That's a wonderful turnaround there for Blue. I say wonderful turnaround, that's more of an error on Plexa's side. Yeah, can you believe that Plexa is the world record holder with that error? Man. Standards. If you can't keep your own, mate, what were we meant to do? Our inspiration, ladies and gentlemen. Ribbing aside, very, very close race. That is a CBS.
It just never ends. It's CBS after triple fail after triple fail after CBS.
And it's a quad, dude. And it's a quad.
Yeah. No problem.
Look at this Plexa guy getting a single slime. Plexa's in the lead. That's how he got the record. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. So right. There is this whole thing, right, where we're talking about expected value, where the expected value for fleeing becomes better than fighting when Isaac hits a particular level. We want him to hit level 10, I think, in here, and it's level... No, we hit level 11. Level 11. We want him to hit level 11, and then that basically puts our average level high enough that fleeing becomes a better option. That is another quad, and that is another fail.
And the sword.
So
Excellent
obviously
ability.
at the half-time mark, what was the feeling like in the locker room? How are the guys feeling? Like obviously, come a long way, but what was the conversation like at half-time?
Well, that's Llama Temple, Bowie. We've got a couple minutes to play before we get there.
Well, going into obviously Blues has got to have a team talk.
There's a lot of game left.
Okay, as Plexa exits the fight, Blueser is entering. This time should be fine, same as last time. If you get level 11 on Isaac early, he actually outturns. You can do a faster strat here. He'll outturn the living statue, but if you don't, it's better just do this like full strat here. So that should be level 11 on this one. Plexa did get that, so he's gonna be fleeing now, and he'll just obviously set all of his Ginny to get as many stats as possible. No level 11, it seems like, for Blueser. Interesting. It's okay. Yeah, so this dungeon is obviously very, very complex and very, very deep, and has really, really wonderful puzzles that are very rewarding and fun to do. And you feel great as a player when you clear those, and it's a really important part of this game is the puzzle solving. With that in mind, we're going to be tackling the rest of this dungeon in a very, very fun way. So yeah, we've got a little bit to go though. It's just one of those dungeons. Alton is just, you need to really put a lot of focus in. So those first two fights are all gearing up for the third kind of like big statue. The Hydros statue. Obviously, we gotta work on that one. Big boss has some pretty powerful moves. We want to set ourselves up in a way that we're going to be safe. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to cast Frost on this particular pool of water here. Very important part to this setup for the boss fight. Because we want to jump over this hole, because it's obviously, very important for the boss fight to jump over this hole. Okay, so the next strategy, what we're going to do is we're going to do, it's going to cast Frost one more time, just because we can. And we're going to, right, never mind. Retreat glitch skips the entire rest of that dungeon. And this is Llama Temple. Very important.
Oh, this is actually halftime.
Yeah, we've got a 2-minute cutscene coming up as well now. So yeah, this is another good time for some donations, or reads, or some funny jokes. Everyone, donate a tenner and tell us a funny joke, a dad joke. Ideally, really, really good ones. I think things like to the person who stole my Microsoft Office, I will find you. You have my word.
Oh wow.
I think those could work. I think those dad jokes could work, especially for the bouncing mod for Job Simulator, which we're really close to meeting our goal with.
Hell yeah. Make sure to meet those goals. We want to meet all the goals.
So just a reminder to everyone, we are here raising money for Save the Children. Save the Children works with communities to create safe and creative preschool environments to keep children well fed and healthy, and to take teaching materials into homes so the whole family can support a child's education. And you can help give children a future by donating during this event. Links to donate are below the stream, and you can also hit !donate into the chat to get a link up to donate and get those donations rolling in. So yeah, get those dad jokes going. I'd love to read some dad jokes.
Where's my boy Endif when you need him? I have this viewer called Endif. He's amazing. He always comes in, tells us a dad joke, and then just lurks for the rest of the stream. His recent one was amazing. It was like, I've been staring at my ceiling recently. I don't think it's the best one in the world, but it's definitely up there. So good.
That also was just sit on air.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, Bowie.
I'm 2 hours into this,
We need our viewers to give us better ones, otherwise we're going to be subject to that.
Wow. Excuse me. Aggressive behaviour, sir. I didn't expect that from you at 5:30. Can't believe Moobot is stopping pyramids. Vine pyramids. Okay, so quick story update. This is Harmer. Don't worry about her. She's not at all important to Ivan or anything like that. She just happens to have the same abilities and can teach him stuff. But she'll be relevant at some point in the game, but just not for us right now or this speedrun. Apart from giving us the ability to use Reveal. Reveal is a very powerful ability. It layers a map over the top of the current map in a nice black and white fashion and reveals the true nature of what lies beneath. And it's very important for the next dungeon, because the gimmick of the next dungeon is that obviously we're going to a desert, right? Lamakan Desert is an evil desert. It's very, very hot, and it tries to kill you. There are rings of stones around the dungeon, and if you cast Reveal on them, you'll find either an oasis, or you'll find items, or you'll find Sanji stones, or you'll find other things. And that's going to be really important. And it's important to note the way that the Reveal spell works, because the Reveal spell puts a map over the top of the current one, right? It's literally like it just layers another map over. That's another map with that on, and then you can access it, and then you get rid of the map. Just clear it out. Off it goes. That's very, very important. So now we're going to be doing an interesting way to get through this dungeon. We're not going to do all of Lamachan Desert. We're going to grab as much as we can. Most importantly, please note that we have now got 3 Jinni of every single element. So we're building up to get powerful summons. We're going to be getting 1 more. That is a caught by surprise of 2 salamanders. That is very nasty. Salamanders are one of the scariest here. Going for a run. Okay. Oh no. But this is why we did have a contingency plan. Well done, Plexa, for grabbing that. The other way of doing that is to do Drench with Mia into Procne, which does kill. But again, you need to have that set up. I don't think it was set up at the time. No, I think for Double Salamander it's Neptune Procne, actually, which is even worse. Just the single one if you want that. Okay, we're both in Lamachan now. Now the movement that they're actually doing is also very, very precise. You'll notice that Plexa did not get hit by the beam, the gauge yet. When you're running on sand, the heat gauge increases. When it reaches its max, you take a percentage bit of damage to the entire party. This can down a party member if they're low, which is very, very scary. But by jumping in the oases, you lower the gauge down to the bottom. So that's the whole gimmick, right? You want to stop the gauge from maxing out, jumping into the oases and cooling down, and that's how you're meant to do it. Now, this is the second screen of the dungeon. This is the final screen of the dungeon. Well, give or take, there's a cave you run through, but this is the final screen we're going to do. How, you ask? Well, first off, we're going to go and grab our 4th Jupiter Jinni. We're going to grab Smog. Smog is very, very cool, but it also gives us access to the 4th summon tier for Jupiter, Thor. Thor is the slowest tier 4, but Thor is very, very nice in terms of damage coming out from Ivan. We're going to eventually build up to have a tier 4 for every element, then we're only going to get bonuses of very particular elements afterwards, and we'll talk about those in a bit. So here's Smog. You may also notice the antlion. We've had a fair different ways to get through Lamachan. So by taking these hits as well, it allows us to heal the party and then burn Isaac's PP down to as low as possible so that we can do the next retreat glitch. So let's quickly keep an eye on Plexa here as he's using PP there. Goes down to 3. Cast Reveal, then does the retreat glitch, and then walks in. He did that a bit weird. There we go. Cool. Right. So what happens is when both players are up here as well, that second run for Plexa and better encounters for Bluza meant that Bluza has caught up a little bit, but he is taking this fight here. Plexa did not. There's the lead. Caught by surprise. Just poo. Not at this point. You don't want to see that now. He has to go for it. Yeah, he has to go for it. So how does that work? That's called the slip and slide. And how that works is that when you cast Reveal, it brings up the oasis. When you jump into an oasis, it's kind of like a magnet effect. You jump into the oasis and you stay in there and you splash about. Yeah, I'm in the water. Yeah, it's really, really cooling and lovely. And then when you're done in the oasis, you jump out. However, because we use the retreat, we bring Reveal up to bring it there, but because we use the retreat glitch, the game thinks we're on a different screen. So the magnet effect that should be on that pool isn't there because there is not actually anymore an oasis there because the game thinks you're on a different screen and there's no oasis, so there's no magnet effect. So you just go off the reveal plane, and when reveal is over, it pops you on the top out of bounds, and you can go off screen and activate Manticore off screen. Now Manticore is another really, really hard fight, a story that I didn't kind of get into it earlier. He can take 2 turns per action. This is the first instant. Oh, this is not good at all. Deadly poison on Ivan. He's going first as well.
No, this is the 1 and 8. I probably die here.
Oh, this is the 1 and 8. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a dangerous turn order, and it's very, very scary to get it. And it means that essentially on the
it's going to be Mad Blast Poison Tail, and I need good RNG. Otherwise, I'm in a world of pain.
Yeah. So. There it is. That's on Garrett. Not too bad. Poison Tail is 81. He had 80 as well. That is really unfortunate. That is dangerous. That is going to be a lot of time lost for Plexa. So again, like Saturos, he has 8 turns that are in order. He takes 2 actions per turn, which is very, very dangerous. I believe it is Poison Tail Impair, Mad Blast Poison Tail. I think it's an Attack, Deluge, Curse, Nova. I think it's something like that is the order, roughly. I mean, he'll take 2 of those. Now, the idea is what... did you get away with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? That didn't... Oh, missing damage.
Garrett! HP is what?
This is not
Garrett,
good.
That's not good at all, no. This is really tricky. Oh, Nova Deluge.
I'm okay, but Blue's now in the lead.
Yeah, Blues is in the lead. He got very, very lucky. Garrett survived with 1 HP, but he did get the strat off perfectly. So you want to start with the Neptune, which then powers up Mia, and on turn 3 you get back Fizz and Sleep, and you use those and do a powered up Neri, which is a very, very lovely setup because Mia gets outturned because we gave the Elven shirt over to Garrett in the pre-setup. I didn't have enough time to talk about that, I'm sorry. Immediately afterwards, though, we're going to go and find this little bastard. This is Vine. Vine, actually, most Ginny on the world map are almost guaranteed to appear if you're in their area, apart from Vine. Vine's spawn points are set up to be in multiple locations, and because of that, it actually has a split chance to appear. However, if you let go of the button, if you let go of movement, on the frame pretty much you get the encounter, he appears guaranteed. So you'll see our runners are like stutter stepping in the forest to try and get it. But they both got it, so Vine first try for both players. Very, very nice. Yeah, Blueser is in the lead right now, thanks to that unfortunate RNG for Plexa on Manticore. I didn't see the time for Manticore, but know that it was not subject. It was close though. I think it was like a low 201 or a high 2 flat. I didn't see. Good night, Leanne. Okay, so this is Calais. We're about to take a trip over from Calais across the Caragol Sea, which is a lake, which Garrett thinks is a sea, despite seeing the sea earlier, because he's an idiot. Before that, we're going to go and do some stuff. We're going to buy some items, buy a big axe for Garrett, and go and grab Scorch, our 4th Fire Ginny. Grabbing Vine was our 4th Earth Ginny. So I was talking earlier about the fact that Thor is the slowest. There are 4 tier 4s, obviously, and they have animations that can't be skipped at the speed of like Ramses or Procne. They take a little bit longer. Venus's tier 4 Judgment is the fastest tier 4 summon in the game, and it is about double the speed of Thor, roughly. I think it's like 380 to like 620 or something like that in terms of frame count, right? It's quite a lot, essentially. Again, the exact numbers, Plexa would know that. And then the Meteor and Boreas, which are the fire and water tier 4s, respectively, they are roughly the same speed, and they're in between Judgment and Thor at about like the high 400s. So basically, wherever possible, we will be using Judgment to summon, because it's the quickest tier 4 when we need a tier 4. We may not even always need a tier 4. The next order of priority is, of course, then Mercury and Meteor. We will only summon Thor if it's absolutely mandatory to get the kill on the fight, because it's just so slow. Because you skip the fast bit. The slow bit of Thor is like him firing the lightning from Mjolnir, but we skip the bit when he just appears. He's really fast. Okay. This is the Old Ass Man song. I can't sing it because I'm not in time with it, but know that I ruined this song for the entire community, and I'm sorry. I'm not. I know what I did. These are the tourists who want to go to. Go ahead.
I'm just really thankful I did the backup strat that I came up with like a couple days ago. Because if I did it, oh boy, this would have been so much pain. I don't know if Blue caught it, but I bought the Water of Life you usually buy in Calais, in Xi'an, just in case. So I had 2 Waters of Life in Lamakan, so when
Brilliant.
I had 2 deaths because I had someone die on Manticore and someone die on the double Salamander fight.
Yeah.
So lucky.
CBS.
Yeah. Super lucky.
Old ass man. what should be noted is that nearby, across the Caragol Sea, the reason we're going across the Caragol Sea is we need to get there anyway to get to the Venus Lighthouse and continue chasing down Sartorius Minardi. However, the crossing from Calais to Tolby is also important for another reason. In Tolby is a yearly celebration of Colosso, which is a big tournament where warriors from around the globe join a tournament to become the greatest and get in the favour of Babai, who is an even older man, and who talks even more than everyone else. He is looking for powerful warriors for a reason, so it's a big attraction that everyone goes to Tolby to watch Colosso. Some of the people in that tourist party, particularly the blue and red warriors, want to try and get into Colosso. There's also a swordswoman as well who is also keen as mustard. So they want to get over, but the captain of the ship's all gar no, because it's dangerous out on the Caragol Sea. And I hope you enjoyed my hallmark level of pirate voice.
You now have to keep it up for the entire boat segment, Bowie. I'm sorry.
What, for my commentary?
Yes.
We go to the cabin there and see that there's a blue and a red-haired warrior, and they're effing and jeffing about the fact that they can't get across the old sea. You see.
You can donate to stop or continue this, please.
No, my throat needs to stop. So essentially their warriors look, I know that the sea's dangerous, this is a Camelot game, we're on a boat, we're going to get knackered, I get it. But we're warriors and it's great, so we're going to go and tell the captain to put a sock in it. Let's crack on and get across the sea. However, there's a lucky charm, because all sailors are obviously very superstitious. That's why they cats aren't on board just for superstition. It's also obviously to fend off rats and stuff and keep the food safe, but also good luck. But the lucky charm, the lucky anchor, is something for the captain to suddenly feel at ease. Whoa, Plexa, I saw that.
No way.
That was,
did he do it?
Every time.
Every time. What
man.
A guy. What a guy.
Sir Dr.
So there's this thing.
Plegra.
So I am really good at the drop downs. I feel really confident about them. I can't do 4-ups at all. My thumb physically cannot do it. So it makes for a bit of a struggle when you try to get them. And there's so many more instant get to the tops than there is fall off the damn ladder. Yep. So yeah,
there's two off the falls.
Curse my small thumb. I'll show you guys later, just for the lols.
Yeah, so this is the moment where they're like, oh no, where's my lucky charm? My lucky charm! Arr! And then we're like, I found it right here. So there's a cool mechanic that we haven't talked about at the beginning of the game. Ivan has a move called Mind Read, right? You can actually use that to mind read loads of people, and every single character in the game has surface dialogue and then subconscious dialogue. Every character has stuff that they say. So they wrote 2 scripts for this game, and it's really fascinating to see how much you learn about the lore of the world or about particular things, but also if you don't know where the lucky anchor is, you can use Mind Read on our blue bandanaed friend over there, and he's all like, oh, they'll never know I hid it in the crow's nest. And you go, I don't know, whatever it is, smilingface.jpg. So you can go and grab it. And then you're also really powerful warriors, and as you're 4 powerful warriors with 2 other powerful warriors, we're going to cross the sea and it'll all be fine. We're not going to get attacked by any nasty sea beasties. This is a Camelot game. That never happens, right?
Now, I believe we're doing the gentleman's agreement here. Yeah?
Yeah. What, saving before cracking?
Soft reset, though?
Yeah, of course, always.
Yep, good.
Hard reset guarantees the sleep, which is why we have to be careful about this.
Yeah. Again, manipulation from the beginning of the battle RNG is a thing that does happen. So the reason we're talking about this, it is a marathon run. If you lose to the Kraken, you go back 15 minutes and have to do this entire boat section again. Well, I mean, from setting off, you don't have to find the anchor, I think. But from setting off, you have to do the whole section again. It's a long section. The split's about 17 minutes from finishing Vine until completing the boss. So yeah, it's about 11 minutes lost. The reason we're going to do a safety save here is because we do not guarantee to win this fight. Kraken is a boss fight that is too powerful for us to actually brute force, ideally, right? You can win it with some severe luck. I've done it once, without being put to sleep. So by hitting level 13, Ivan has access to the sleep spell. And the sleep spell will put Kraken to sleep, and he will be asleep for minimum 2 turns. Usually just 2 turns because of his status as a boss. He usually just does recover quite quickly, but it can be more if you're lucky. But if you put him to sleep turn 1, you win the fight, no questions asked. If you put him to sleep turn 2, you win the fight, no questions asked. If you don't put him to sleep by turn 2, you're probably dead. That's it. And because we have a few shots at this, we do have a couple of shots at this. I think with all the strats we get Sleep Bomb, Double Sleep Spell proc, we got Mist, which can also put to sleep. We also sometimes back in the day use Scorch, not anymore. We have different strats to try and stun, which is the same thing as sleep, really. It's about an 83 or 87% chance of success. But on the off, again, that's just percentage chance. That's just probability. Doesn't mean that it's actually like that.
Should probably mention Garrett's actually being useful here too.
Oh yes, of course, yes.
A hand.
A hand. A large hand.
We kept the Elven shirt on him, and we set 1 Ginny. I think it's a Jupiter Ginny on Garrett, which means that he's now faster than Zephyr. Yeah, it means that he's faster than the enemy, so we don't have to move. Because normally, what you could do is you could go Elven shirt after Manticore back to Ivan. Then you have to move it back to Garrett again, which increases the menu. So just keeping it on Garrett, we set a Ginny on him so he can outturn things. Then we don't have to shift the Elven shirt around for a bit. So at this point, some of you may know this, some of you may not. There is an Easter egg here. There is a secret island in this game called Crossbone Isle with a super boss, one of the final Ginny, and loads of fun fights and puzzles and really cool stuff. It's an end game area that you can reach later on, but you can reach it now, because the whole gimmick here is that as we're sailing across the sea, oarsmen are being taken down because we're such great bodyguards. Oarsmen are being taken down. We have to replace the oarsmen with the tourists. If you imbalance the strength of the tourists, if one side is stronger than the other, the ship veers off course, which is a really cool thing. Camelot, you're awesome. So if you balance the strength of the left and the right, we get set on course. We're not going to go to Crossbone Isle because we can't do anything there. We can do a little bit there, but we're not really able to do much with our low levels and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to leave it behind. But you can do it, and that's really sick. It's really cool. I love you, Camelot. Anyway, there's more fights, more oarsmen to save. I'm going to quickly just BRB real quick, so I'll hand it back to Sam. If you have more reads or more donations, I would love to hear them.
Ah, yes, and the dad jokes have started to roll in. We'll get to those in just a second. I do have a $50 donation from R. Connor that says, loving this Golden Sun run, never played the game, but the commentary is great at explaining the plot and the speed strats, and very entertaining to boot. Thanks to all the runners, announcers, tech crew, and organizers. All right, and then we have a $10 donation from Kumiko that says, why did the lifeguard have trouble rescuing the hippie? He was too far out. It's pretty good. And another $10 donation from Anonymous. Hello, everyone. Great to see you. Here's a dad joke. How do you remember which direction the sun rises in? Eventually it'll dawn on you.
These are much better than Bowie's.
I've had enough of your slander, alright? Focus on the run, alright? You do you, and I'll do me, okay?
Alright, I promise this. Now we've got some downtime. So yeah, one of the reasons I can't do the down-ups is that my left thumb is slightly shorter than my right thumb. So it cut off.
Wow.
And so it does this weird locking thing when I do the down-up animation for some reason instead of the up-down. My right thumb can do it just fine, but my left thumb, unfortunately, struggles a wee bit.
Upside down controller strats?
No, you do right-handed strats for it. Like Felissa does this on DS she does
DS,
down up with two thumbs instead of one.
Should note how neck and neck this race is right now. It's pretty nuts how close. This is the final fight before the Kraken. So we've got a little bit more time before we get our next serious time moment with the Kraken, because it will be a safety save. Remember to do that both, please, lads.
Yeah.
Do we have some more dad jokes? Because I really want to kind of feed off of that energy.
We could definitely get some dad joke train hype going on, some donations going here. we are very close to reaching that job simulator, a bounty job mod, incentive target goal is $1,000. We are less than $220 away from meeting that goal. So if you'd like to see that goal met, make sure to get your dad joke donations going. I'd be happy to read them during this awesome race.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, so they're just going to quickly get another setup. Now we're going to do a very particular movement here. Vine, Granite, and Mist are currently set. This is a bit of a change, because we used to have slightly different strats, but this is going to be a new one. Again, these are the modifications to increase the chances of rainbow kills to make up for the lack of experience that we have to do when we do extra running, specifically in ultim. The reason we're doing this is because we are looking for a very particular level on Isaac in a particular dungeon, so we can go from, again, attacking to fleeing, which speeds up the potential of a dungeon a little bit. So I'm going to remind our runners to obviously get their save in before they do this. This fight is not guaranteed. There was a 4-way race before. I failed this twice. In a race, and it was brutal. It just sometimes happens. We don't know what's going to happen with Kraken. We'll see how it goes. So we're going to open up first of all with Vine and Granite. Meteor and Sleet is going to be our first turn. Vine halves the Kraken speed. It's better to halve their speed than boost your own at this point, because it's a bigger decrease for them than it is a bonus for you. And also it means that we can outturn it. Granite gives us 50% damage reduction, of course, because Ivan will die. If he gets double targeted by spinning beat and poison beat, he's dead anyway, so there's not much you can do about it. But we'll see. Sleep going out on Plexa's side, lands it! Sleep going out on Blue's side, lands it! Lovely stuff.
GG.
GG's,
very
man.
good. Okay, Meteor out first, which is very, very lovely. I'm gonna go Judgment, Mist, Thaw, and Heatwave. Mist for a little bit of extra damage, Judgment again for the tier 4 summon, and Thaw. And then we're also going to be using Heatwave because obviously it's powered up thanks to the power of Meteor, plus 100 elemental power. And the axe we bought on Garrett as well means that it's going to deal a lot of damage. 103 on Plexa's side. How much for Bluezer? 101.
The double.
Nice, and the double mist. Lovely. Oh, double sleep. Yeah. Oh yeah. And the final turn then is going to be Plasma, and then it's going to be Scorch and Fever after a Neptune. The Neptune just covers a little bit of damage, and then Scorch and Fever both the final attempt to get that rainbow kill, and we'll see if they get one. Plexa does get it, and Bluezer does get it. Very nice.
Yeah, it's guaranteed with Garrett.
Oh, it is guaranteed, okay.
If it's not guaranteed with Isaac, but it is guaranteed with Garrett. Because Garrett's got more Mars power, basically.
Okay. Well, there you go. 2 exemplary fights, great RNG across the board, 2 rainbow kills, bonus experience. Very, very lovely.
Ooh. Roadblock crossed. That's a big one.
That is a huge one. The fact that we're so close after Kraken is really insane, actually.
Yeah, this is what we wanted. This is exactly what we wanted.
Yeah. And it's pretty much been the tour of Golden Sun to this point. Like, Blues have got some pretty terrible stuff early on. I had a shocker of a Lamacan. And I messed up a living statue. But in the end, the RNG just kind of evens out-ish. And we're now basically tied. So game on.
This is where it's going to get very fascinating as well, because you know when we were dealing with a lot of encounters early on and it was like, oh man, there's a lot of encounters, but the further into the game we get, the lesser able we are to flee, and the more reliant we are on clearing encounters. encounter knowledge is going to be very, very important for both of the runners now to, when they see an encounter, immediately know what the answer is to that. Execute that menu perfectly and move on. So execution, decision making, and reaction to the encounters is very, very important. But also how many encounters they get does matter, because as we go later on, the fights take longer and longer to clear. And skipping an encounter can be a 20+ second time save. Getting an attack first, plus 20-second time save, or 20+ second time save, depending on the fight. But this is where it's going to start getting very interesting. But yeah, they are literally 3 seconds apart right now. This is crazy. Quick set of all the Jinn, have them all on standby. Elven Shirt goes back over to Ivan now because he's needed it to... At this point, Ivan doesn't outturn, but because he does have the Elven Shirt on, he can outturn most fights, and he can do a tier 4 to clear most of these fights. There are situations where a tier 3 can still do it. Plexa? Oh my god. He got it. Oh, wow! That's unfortunate. He was like 2 steps away from the forest and didn't get it. But a Procny Meteor, that is a very hard encounter skip. Didn't get it, but a very hard encounter skip. Did flee and got away though, so there's that as well. But Meteor Procny is enough to kill...
Yeah, let me explain why I fled, because normally I wouldn't flee. If I fled, I'd have to use Meteor. If I used Meteor, I wouldn't have it for this fight. If I didn't have it for this fight, I'd have to run around like a dingus for a while I got my summons back. So I was like, well, I guess I just have to take the risk here. And it paid off.
Yeah, good decision as well. Level 13 reached for Blues are on that side, just learning Ragnarok finally. I know many of you out there grinded level 13 before Saturos for Ragnarok. I know I did when I was a kid. We're looking for level 14. That is an annoying fight. That is a judgment target there. Yeah. See, this is the thing. Deciding what to do.
It's the rats,
that is fine. So, like,
if
for example,
defends,
yeah, that is true. But the thing is, looking at those situations there, right? Plexa got Bat Mole. If that was a Dirge Mole, which is the enemy, like the weird, like the spindly, like demon bat things that Blueser had. Judgment does not kill a Dirge, but Judgment does kill bats. So in that situation, Plexa could use Judgment, but he would have had to flex if it was Dirges. So it's very important to know the differences between those fights. And a single mole is lovely because it's just Tiamat, which is lovely, which is a faster animation. Did you get encounter?
Is that possible? I got encounterless off the ground. Like that has never happened before.
I've done that once. Yeah, I've seen it. So Judgment can kill most stuff here. There is some interesting flex plays, like knowing that Mia's Boreas can one-shot a Golem. Golems are very, very tanky boys. But yeah, Mia can one-shot that. Plex are having a lovely time of this. Really good encounter rate at this point of the thing. So here we go. Rat, and then 2 jobbies. You can't do Meteor there to do that. You have to be Meteor. You can't do Judgment. You have to do Meteor to kill the double Dirge. And no guard. Good. No guard. So I should talk about plated rats. Plated rats suck. Something chronic. So there's the defend command, which reduces damage by 50%. There it is. Single golem is a Boreas to kill. Very nice. The armored rats have 2 types. Armored and plated rats have 2 types of defend: a regular defend and a flash defend. What's a flash defend, you ask? Well, you know Granite. That Ginny that we've been using to get priority turn order to reduce our damage by 50%. Well, Flash does that, but Flash reduces damage by 90% rather than 50. And those rats can do that.
In the game. Literally the only encounter in the game, I guess.
You just get a
Dirge.
To be fair, the rat hasn't guarded yet.
So yeah, true.
We keep like touching wood that stage of time. But yeah, our runners are looking for level 14. At level 14, we're going to go to what's called Immortal Isaac or Gallant Isaac, where we're going to Rambo Isaac. Well, yeah, we're going to.
Oh, that's when things go wrong.
Yeah.
Rambo Isaac is when everybody else is dead, but Isaac's alive, and you're like, well, I don't have a choice anymore.
Yeah, so Quake Sphere there on for Plexa, so he does have Isaac ready to go. And basically what this means is we're going to set up for the next like dangerous thing that we're going to be doing, which is going to be Colosso. And in that fight, Isaac's going to be going solo. And so we give him all of the Venus Ginny he's going to be doing that. We don't need any more levels. We need level 14, and that's all. So we're going to give all of the Venus Genie over to Isaac to put him into Gallant class, which again is a 150% stat bonus to the base stats, I believe. Oh, hello, that's one dead. This kind of helps, but it could also be a bit annoying as well. But yeah, this is essentially what that means is that Isaac won't die from stuff as easy. He's nowhere near as squishy, so we don't have to take the fight, so we can just run away and hope it works out in our favour.
I'm so nervous about this.
It's scary because if people die, that's fine, and there comes a point when actually not healing them is better, because we're actually going to be trying to set up for a death warp now. Goodbye, Mia. That is scary. Forcible arm can proc and reduce your HP to 1, I believe. Yep. Oh my lord. Okay. Yeah, so golems and the Dreadhounds are the only enemies that Rambo Isaac fears, and we're getting pretty close to Rambo right now. So much so that Plexa just saved.
God. Might come in handy.
Oh my.
Oh my lord.
So both players are now in Gallant Isaac. Gallant. So we're going to be going to the depths of Altmiller Cave to find this little puzzle. Blue, green, white, yellow, red. From left to right is the order of the stones on this screen, and basically whenever it shows the top orb, where do you go? White is center. That sucks. You want white to be second. And the second one will be, you only need to do 2. After 2, the secret is revealed, and we're going to be finding a Lemurian draft. The Lemurian draft is a special potion that is from the Springs of Lemuria, a legendary location where alchemy still flows, and it keeps you youthful and young. Babai, or Barbie, is the and that's not, and I'm not saying Bobby there, Americans. I'm saying Barbie, as in Babi, and not Barbie either, Mr. Bluther.
He did it.
Barbie, Babi. I say Babai just to make up for it because I don't know. Some people get annoyed by it. It's great. We're now gonna
Bobby.
Banned.
Bobby talks a lot. Let's go.
The pair of you.
Bobby talks a lot over here.
He does talk a lot. Because he's about 475
Let's talk about
years.
Jerry. We didn't talk about him enough.
What, the NPC that gets in your way?
Yeah.
Which one?
Jerry. There's only one Jerry, man. Jerry and Olsen. Anyway.
Don't forget about Terry, the little girl,
Terry,
and Lalavero, that can possibly do something for us. Yeah.
Looking forward to Terry.
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, the older the character, the more lines in it of text. They have as many words as they have years. So you can surmise Baba is like 300. He's not that old. He's probably well into the hundreds though. Many years ago, he went on an expedition to Lemuria. Well, found Lemuria on an expedition with the great thief Lunpa, and they went to Lemuria. They enjoyed some tasty Lemurian water, and Lumpa's like, you know what, I like this. And what Babai did was stole a ship and stole a draft of Lemurian water from Lemuria and sodded off. With eternal life in his hand, he thought to create an empire that would last forever. And so he has done just that. He is really, really old, and he is talking a lot. And he is basically trying to maintain his empire. And the older he's been getting and the less draft he has left, he's been rationing the draft a little bit more. But he waited too long between sips, and this time collapsed before he could reach there. Despite the fact that we already solved the puzzle, we actually need to do that first cutscene where he tells us how the puzzle works before we get the actual puzzle. And this music is the sound of cutscenes. My god. So yeah, this is going to go on for a while. So I mean, I hope there are some donations to read because you've got plenty of time, Sam.
Alrighty, we have a $50 donation from Anonymous. No comment, but thank you so much for that generous donation. We also have a $5 donation from VC Get Down. Can you let the commentator guy know? He's doing such a great job explaining the mechanics of the speedrun as we go along. We'll definitely let him know that.
Thank you.
Also, we do have some dad jokes. I hope you are ready for that. We have a $5 donation from Carthus Rose that says, came for the golden sun, stayed for the golden pun. Great stuff, guys. Thank you to all involved. We've got a $10 donation from Get Dugged On. Today, my son asked, can I have a bookmark? And I burst into tears. He's 10 years old and still doesn't know my name is Brian. I'm so sorry, Brian. We have a $5 donation from Just Dade. When Sam asks for dad jokes, it is my job to deliver. Did you all hear about the toddler psychic that robbed a bank? It was very strange, and now the police are out looking for a small medium at large. I am so sorry. We have a $10 donation from Kumiko. When the lifeguard did reach the hippie, what did the hippie reply with? Namaste.
Oh, that is very good. Both of those were very good. Well played.
I gotta say, it took me a minute to get the first one, the bookmark one. Low IQ over here.
That was quite good as well.
It was good.
Kumiko's duo of the hippie and the water. I'm filing those ones away.
Very nice.
Very good.
I didn't retreat out.
Yeah, you didn't. Congrats.
I know. Hey,
I'm gonna go Death Warp because.
Who are you?
One of us has to.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, one of us has to. I honestly should, but I don't want to. It never works.
You're fine.
No, I don't think I'm going to do that. Don't think I will.
So yeah, you can see that there is still a lot of conversation going on. Yeah, it's nuts. There will be a time when even if there was like a 5-minute disparity between these two, they would be in the same cutscene coming up because of how long it is. These are the longest cutscenes in the game outside of the ones in the intro. So I was talking about how there is a death warp potential here. So there's two ways. We want to go back to Tolby. So after we came off the boat, I say we, I'm not running, but after Bluezer and Plexa got off the boat, they tagged Tolby as their last village to go into. Because what Plexa's going to do is he's going to die. Back to the Tolby Sanctum, because it's okay. It's okay. Cast... Oh, no. Oh, okay. No retreat to the power bread. Oh.
Look at that.
No, I am getting it. It's just too laggy to get it right now. If I get it later, there's no lag when I pick it up.
Interesting.
And I'm going to go...
The NPCs up the top, yeah?
Yeah. There's the NPCs in Tolby in general, they add too much lag. So the point here is that I only have 2 waters of life, and I believe Blue, you have to let 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been burning them left, right, and center. So I have to go to Tolby here and buy an extra water of life just for safety. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to be passing right by the gravestones anyway, so I'll just get it quicker then. So I'm still getting it, don't worry. Save the power bread.
Cool. So yeah, this is Tolby. This is a Colosso. Colosso is a 3-stage tournament. Also, please shout outs to the again attention to detail Camelot. There are only 7 competitors usually, but Isaac got added in at the very, very last minute. So have a look at that circle on the far right, a crudely drawn chalk circle in the ground because he's not an official competitor. We normally get the question of, but if it's a bracket of 7 people, how does it work? The first seed gets a bye, easy. But now, now Isaac's involved. That crudely drawn circle is going to. Well, it's just. I think it's a great piece of attention to detail. Bluether was trying not to death warp, but it looks like he might anyway. On the doorstep of Tolby.
Okay, yeah, yes, not.
So yeah, every character got revived upon entering. So this is why it didn't matter that everyone died after the death warp. So we're going to put anyone into the stands. Does not matter who's in the stands. because we're just going to skip all the things anyway, because we're fast enough to clear and get to the end than the enemies anyway, because they're really slow. Colosso is 3 rounds. In order to progress with the game, you need to win the first 2 rounds. We're going to throw the third, spoilers, we're going to lose the third and final round against Navampa. We have to beat 2 soldiers first, Azart and Satrage. By getting to the finals, you've already impressed Babai. If you win, you gain an extra item called the Lure Cap, which increases the encounter rate. If you lose, you've still impressed him, and the game still continues. But you need to make sure you make it to the finals. Most important thing.
You know, if the Lure Cap had the opposite effect, where it like reduced encounter rate, I wonder if we'd go for it.
Yes.
Probably would. Yeah, probably would.
We might.
Depends how much the encounter rate would be reduced too, man.
Yeah, imagine like getting all the skips later on. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Don't tease us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you've ever played Mario Tennis on GBA, you might remember the power shot grinding. Where do you think they learned it? This music is also very reminiscent of that music as well. So fun fact as well, this entire map, the left side and the right side, is all there. The right side's there as well. It's all like,
no, it's
isn't
not.
It?
It's
I'm
not.
pretty sure. I thought you showed it.
I showed it to Black Void.
I never saw that. I'm pretty sure I remember watching you show the whole thing. Interesting.
No, it's really funny because we all thought it was always there because he's doing the movements that you would do if you were on the left-hand side. And so one day I just like no-clipped over there to have a look at what's happening, and he's running around mimicking our inputs in the void. It's really funny.
That's really weird. I seem to remember you being out.
I'll tag you after.
I have to
That's
have
really
that.
funny.
I remember you running right, and maybe it's not immediately voided, but it's like there is a little bit.
It's not yeah, there's a little bit, but most of it is void.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, very interesting.
Colour me surprised. Okay, cool. Azar, we're going to start by using the oil drop. I think Boozer has a different setup here. Nice defend. Good job, mate. Might have to follow up with a Spire just to make sure. Oh, another. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Flint. Defend again. And wow. Another Spire. And then we're going to use ground. And then we've done enough damage now that we can just follow up with a judgment. If he doesn't defend again. Cool. That's Azar down. So these are new strats. By setting only Granite and Vine, we can force it... no, not Granite and Vine, Granite and Quartz. We can force it so that we can do damage. So we're going to do, like, Ragnarok or Oil Drop, whatever. And then Flint. And then you're still in your tier 2 class because you still have 2 Ginny up. Then you ground to get Judgment ready and you can still outturn him. Very, very cool setup. Now, there are ways to lose a bunch of time or save time here. We like to call this, we can either call this place Time Losso or Nut Losso. The tier 2 healing item is called a Nut. Again, get your jokes out. I know you have them ready. But if the enemy uses a Nut, they heal for 200 HP. And that's pretty much 2 extra turns worth of damage that you need to deal. So it's about a 20-second time loss per heal. So
if you want to see what that looks like, just watch this.
Yeah, here we go. Blue Blues try Ragnarok to open rather than Oil Drop, obviously. Into Oil Drop on him. That's fine.
God, Blue, you did it.
Flint into Nut. There it is. Fantastic.
I blame you on that one, Blue. You didn't have to say anything. It would have been fine. It actually wouldn't have been fine. The RNG would have been fixed, but still.
Oh my god, there goes the other one.
Oh wow, yeah, that's plus 40 seconds. Plexa trying to get the instant climb. Yeah,
I can't do it. The down ups are impossible, guys. They're absolutely impossible.
I hope you saved before this.
Before Satrage.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god! Loser!
Easy.
Oh, calculated.
I saw 75 HP and I saw 74 damage. I was like, oh, this is fine.
Oh, legend.
Okay.
You are an idiot. There's the two sides of that. What a legend, what an idiot.
Yeah.
I respect that, Blue. I really do. Well done, sir.
God damn it. Okay, Fat Rage, or Nut Rage, as we like to call him, because he loves to see. Okay, he's a bit different, right? Because he has both enemies have. And there's an oil drop first for Azar before he gets to the heal. There's a smoke bomb. Smoke bomb attack is the perfect outcome. So this is good so far. What's going to be turn 3? Attack. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, cool. Nice rainbow as well. Nice win.
So it's just completely meaningless.
At this point, all Plexa and Plusa, all Plexa needs to do is lose the final round to Navampa and move on, which can be a lot harder than you might think.
Come on, Navampa.
Yeah, use the sleep bomb, dude.
Yeah.
We're not going to see the sleep bomb today, guys. 100%.
What we mean by this is Navampa has 3 items: smoke bomb, nut, and then sleep bomb. He only has 1 nut. But if he uses sleep bomb, he's basically we want him to kill us. All he has to do is attack us twice. That's it. That's all he has to do. But somehow that's impossible. It's so impossible.
A really quick announcement here. We are going to be switching over hosts. So my name is Sam Without a Plan. It's been an honor to host for this incredible race here. And I'd like to introduce Xena Deer.
Hello, friends. How we doing today?
Welcome, Xena.
Yo, Xena Deer.
Thank
See
you
you,
so much
Sam.
indeed.
Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah, thank you so much indeed for hanging out with us and reading those donations. It was very, very lovely to have you. Welcome in, Xeno. Hope you're having a good time.
Yep.
Now I have to follow that up, so very excited.
You'll be fine. It'll all be good. Hopefully there's more dad jokes ready to go. We are going to, after this section, we're going to have like a 90,000 year cutscene. So, there's going to be plenty of time for you to crack on and, lull our audience into a calm state with that very velvety smooth voice of yours. Go on, Plexa, I believe. Go on, Plexa. Sir Dr. Mr. Plexa. First Speed Lord, Grand Master of Going Faster.
Don't do it.
Whew. You might... Go on, Plexa. Come on, man.
Yeah.
There we go. Validated.
Yeah, basically, if Loser doesn't do that on a run, I will not validate his PBs. Just FYI, dude. No, I jest. Of course I will validate it.
Don't worry about it. You'll probably never get another one. At this rate.
Okay, so you're probably wondering... Yeah, we're just waiting for Navampa to get the weapons so he has an easier chance of two-shotting us. With the Hunter's Blade, it's a little bit sketchier, but with the Claymore, it's guaranteed. Ooh, it's a crit! That's a lovely start. Come on, dude. There we go. There we go. 245.
Really?
245, 55.
Holy.
That is a pace.
I'm gonna go and check your run.
After with not getting a sub 2 Manticore, getting a 245 means I had a blistering alt Noah.
Yes,
I'm
you
gonna have to
did.
watch
I
that
can
back.
confirm that by being close to you when we started, and
Not being close to you now, yeah.
What is this? 0 encounters from ground?
Yeah, what the hell, man? Like, I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's probably possible, but it's probably like a 1 in 100 or a 1 in 1,500 or something.
Okay. So this is a moment where
you better
this
get
is a
this.
Oh, third try.
Easy. Look at this guy.
This is a great cutscene where Garrett keeps trying to reprimand Isaac for being like, I'm fine after that fight. He's like, no, you're not. And then Ivan just turns around and says, shut up, Garrett. Like twice. And Garrett apologizes. We really do. We are very mean to Garrett. We are very mean to Garrett. He sometimes deserves it. The reason
we've all been on runs where Garrett has saved the day. Let's be real.
Yeah, we have. The reason Garrett gets a little bit of like a hard rap is because like he's statistically one of the weakest characters in the game for their role. In this game, because if you remember at the beginning, I mentioned that the damage formula is attack minus defense divided by 2, which means that 2 defense points is 1 less damage, but 8 extra HP.
Oh no.
Is 8 extra HP. HP is a more important tanking stat than anything else. Oh wow, let's go.
Okay, that was
no, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Yeah, so HP is the most important tanking stat. And as the tank, Garrett's meant to be a tank. He's nowhere near as powerful as Isaac. Isaac is, a sledgehammer. And Garrett is not. He's like a squeaky hammer. But he's also not very tanky because all of his tank stat is put into his defense, but the defense doesn't make that much of a difference. And his HP isn't that much better than Isaac. I think Isaac has more HP, in fact. I think it's close enough. But it's like he doesn't fulfill the role with the right. He fulfills the role, but with the wrong stat. And his attack isn't very good. He's not the strongest with magic either. So he's in a bit of a weird position. So yeah, bit of a strange character. Anyway. Baba's talking, so Zeno, do you want to introduce yourself properly, say hi to everyone, and if you've got any donations, fire away.
We got the time.
Absolutely. So hello friends, my name is Zenadir, you can call me Zen. I will be hosting for this run and the following, and let's kick it off with a fantastic donation with a dad joke here just for you all. This is $5 from Ogre498 that says, Dad joke, what does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles.
Very well played.
No more, no less.
11 and it's just not funny. It's like,
no, exactly. That's just mean.
Oh, you got time, Zen. Oh, you got time.
You got time, yeah.
Oh, you got time.
Here is $5 from Coultergeist that says, have to donate during Golden Sun. Will we be seeing the Star Magician? Wait, sorry, wrong game. Good luck, Plexa and Blueser, and happy 20th anniversary to Golden Sun.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers,
That's
Colt.
tomorrow. Yeah, so Golden Sun turns 20 on the 1st of August. So this is kind of a happy birthday to Golden Sun. So thank you for having us on this particular day of all days.
Happy early birthday, Golden Sun.
Yeah, let me just shout out the Golden Sun Reddit for those people who are still here. Check them out. They're doing a 20th anniversary celebration over the next day or so. Lots of Golden Sun content coming out of there. Give them a subscribe or follow the discussion that's happening. Join their Discord if you like, and you can see a ton of cool Golden Sun stuff coming out of there. I've been told to be excited, so I don't know what that means, but we'll see. I'm pretty excited, I'm not gonna lie. I may chip in myself with something. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll figure something out.
Alright, I have a $5 donation here from Adelier TM, who says, why does the leader of Toby now stay away from the ocean? Because nobody likes having shrimp on the bobby.
Oof, Bobby.
That was... Yeah.
The oof is the best response I could have asked for.
Atelia's great. Hey, Atelia. He's learning some Golden Sun. And Cultgeist as well. He's following us from afar. He's always commenting on my YouTube videos, so glad you can make it, dude. Alright, I'm going to pick up that power bread that we were talking about a while ago. There's lag if you do this reveal before this, for some reason. There's none if you do it afterwards. It's like super nice.
Yeah. After Colosso's over, all of the tourists sold off home, so...
We think we have enough time here for me to inform everybody of the amazing donation incentives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely.
So I've seen several of these amazing puns here. You guys are putting your donations in the right place, but let me remind you that coming up we do have Job Simulator All Jobs, and you can put some of your money towards the Bouncy Job mod, where Pathetic will showcase one of the jobs while having the Bouncy Job mod enabled. I have no idea what that means, but for some reason it sounds very entertaining, so if you don't meet that goal, I would be very upset. We are at $789.95 of 1,000. We're very close. We can definitely make it. And there are many other donation incentives that we can start putting our money towards as well, including the Super Mario 64 drum cover, or the Dark Souls All Bosses, the ending choice, which is the Dark Lord, or To Link the Fire. I'm a big fan of To Link the Fire, but I guess that's just me.
Okay, we're getting to our next desert as well. This is Suhala Desert. In this segment, there's a variety of encounter skips you can get between... If you might remember, again, at the beginning when we were running between Kolimar and Bilibin, there are chances for encounter skips. We have the same thing here in Suhala, up to like 7 encounter skips for this particular area, plus a few more encounter skips afterwards. Skipping encounters here is massive. We are also going to be setting up for another retreat glitch, so in order to force this, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to be... we're going to go for the judgment here, actually. It looks like Plexa is doing something a bit different here. Other than like what we can do is do a Quake Sphere setup to like it basically cast as much as possible and like drain Isaac's PP again, just so we can do a retreat glitch. But it looks like it might have to be a little bit different. Ground on the right.
I'm taking cues from Bluezer on this one actually. Blue has been doing this strat for a while, and I've been looking at it and being like, actually, this makes sense. Quake Sphere is nice for the consistency, but at our level, just getting lucky and it being fast is just better. And I should have used Boreas. So yeah, thanks Blue for the strat, appreciate it.
It actually wasn't my idea. It was Cause's idea.
Thanks Cause for the idea. Well, I used to do this as well. I never threw the Procny. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is like how it always was.
Yeah, so the Procny is what makes it safe. This thing's got an ability called Ward, and Ward basically reduces the damage that our summons deal, which is just not good for us. So we try and... well, before, I wouldn't throw in the Procny, you'd just be sad if it uses Ward and then it gets an extra action off and you're just really, really, really not having a good time. Was that a skip?
Yes,
it was. That is one of the harder skips in this space as well. That's very, very nice.
Did you get a skip as well, Blue?
I did.
Yeah, big skip.
I got the impossible skip.
Yeah, he got the one inside from Lizard 2 to 3.
Yeah. It's a 10% chance there.
Okay, so these are going to be going down. I should have mentioned earlier, we completely forgot to mention it. After we got Hail, you might remember there was that Mercury Genie we got earlier before we entered the cave. We then went round the side of Caragol Sea to grab Ground. Ground is a priority Genie that when used removes an opponent's turn from the map, right? If they have 1 turn or 2, you can get rid of one of those actions. They only get 1 action or no actions in per turn. That's incredibly important. There is only 1 more Genie we're going to get, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier, and that's Flash. Flash is silly. Flash is like broken. Flash is broken. Flash, of course, is 90% damage reduction. So if an enemy is going to deal 200 damage to you, you're only going to take 20. And enemies can deal that much damage to you at the end of the game. And if you look at our HP totals, no one's surviving that. So Flash is pretty much one of the reasons we can win this game. Especially at this level, ground definitely comes in handy as well, especially with bosses that take 2 turns. Being able to mitigate one of those turns is pretty nice. So we're going to move ground over and set ground onto Isaac. What this allows is for a very, very, very nice kill. We're going to go Boreas with Mia, ground, and then Procne with Ivan. By making the natural casters casties, it's enough damage for us to get the kill with just 2 summons. If you don't have ground on Isaac, you have to do ground with someone else, and you have to do Judgment and Boreas, which is overall slower.
You can also do a strat. I was considering doing Quake Sphere there, because Quake Sphere would allow me to drain my PP, but I'm just gonna play a little bit risky.
That's fair. What's a little risk in a race like this?
Exactly.
So ground and flash are going to be set at all times. So essentially, depending on the situation, if there's a situation where we can just use ground and take off one turn from an enemy that is going to be alive. So for example here, the brutal troll is one of them's going to die to Judgment, the one on the left, but we ground the right hand side one because Mia is slow enough that the brutal troll will get its turn, and it won't. Oh, actually, Mia outturned.
Mia outturned. Yeah, it's not guaranteed, I don't think.
Yeah, I think that one's a roll. But essentially, there will be situations where flash is going to be safer because not enough people, more enemies are going to get a turn, so it's just safer to flash. And it might be times when it's safer to ground or faster to ground instead. So because the flash animation is quite short, quite long, so whatever you can do to mitigate that is pretty good.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So intentionally letting this thing have an action so that I can drain PP.
Double Boulder Beast, very nice. Simple Boreas will fill that, and only one. That was 2 encounters on the way out. That's not bad though. They're getting the big skip on the 2 to 3 lizards.
Yeah, it's basically an average Suhala. I got the same number of skips that I normally get. Don't know why I did this.
I'm pretty sure you can do that with Judgment on Ivan. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you can. I'm not thinking. I'm getting it confused with the thing later on.
You can skip an encounter to Suhala Gate. As though I was saying, we are preparing for a retreat glitch as Blueser is entering his flash fight. Nice and easy. Blueser is one of those strange runners who does flash on Garrett, I think. Right?
Yep.
Strange. Silly person. No, everyone has a different approach and there's tiny differences here and there. It essentially changes up situations. There is a couple of bonuses and better options. There's one particular enemy that Garrett can one-shot if he has flash set because of the extra elemental power that comes with setting one Ginny. We have a different setup for that if we don't have flash set. We have so Plexa and I use flash on Mia and have ground on Isaac. That means that Mia's in a faster class, she has drench and all that kind of stuff, and Isaac stays in base class. That looks like an encounter skip for Plexa. It just needs to move up half a tile and not get an encounter. Nice. Encounter skip into Suhala Gate. Cool. Venus Lighthouse entry. This is a really, really cool thing. And a very unique cool thing. We're going to just re-enter from the right-hand side because we are going to cast Retreat when we get through Venus. In order to access Venus Lighthouse properly, we need to go into Venus Lighthouse 1 and activate a button to create a pathway from another lighthouse to Venus Lighthouse proper. What you will be noticing is that everywhere we move, Plexa is casting Reveal. If you remember when we were in Lamakan Desert, I was mentioning how Reveal actually places another map over the top of the current map you're on. It just puts a new map layer over the top. When they were localizing this game, this is an English version thing only. I think it's not in the Japanese version. What's happening here is that when we have the Reveal map placed over the top, the encounters and the steps taken to accrue to get your next encounter are not activated on the overlain map of Reveal. Because I think when they were localizing the game, this is one of the things that they sorted out first, and just just didn't sort that out, and they never went back to it later on when localizing. So there are no encounters in Venus Lighthouse 1. Are we going to get blue first? We did not. Here's your chance to catch up now, Blue. Genuinely,
It's what, a 14-second time loss?
I think it's 12.
14, 11? That's not pleasant. There's nothing
Yeah.
you can do about it. The yellow path is like legitimately 3 to 5 minutes slower than the blue path. So there's really no choice.
Yeah. So we're going to activate the blue path and then retreat back to the right-hand side. Out we go. Can we get the encounter skip on the way to Lalavero? No. Oh. That wasn't attacks first. You just got mad like.
It was not attacks first.
You are a ballsy man. Lalavero got absolutely slammed by Saturas Minardi. The guards were all like, "Hey, you, stop!" And they were like, and then just walked straight past him. So the Lalaveran guards are, having a bit of a nightmare. Does Bluesy get his encounter skip?
Good odds from here.
I mean, if he doesn't, I'll be upset. In pretty much
I failed it from there with the half tile.
That was a menu.
Close.
There we go.
Nice.
Encounter skip
Good
from
job.
both.
Well done. It's really unlikely. It's only like a 30% chance to get that one, I think.
I never even
35.
used to do it until you mentioned that I was being dumb for not doing it.
You just did the task jump for the hell of it there, didn't you?
I did, yes. It actually lost me time because I went to the shop, but it was worth it because task jump.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is the road to Babai Lighthouse. So the reason Babai was doing Colosso was so that he could find warriors strong enough to go back out to... He's building a lighthouse to see out to the Eastern Sea because he wants to go back to Lemuria because he doesn't want to die because he's selfish. And yeah, he needs warriors who are strong enough. So this is why he's building his lighthouse. What on earth? That wasn't an attacks first, was it? I didn't see attacks first.
That was.
Okay, that one was. Okay, I didn't see. You're on 30 frames on Discord, so I do legitimately text. So that was nice.
This is the part of the game where attacks first matter. That would have been a 25-second encounter to clear, which is obviously huge. Would have been 20-second swing against me. But attacks first instead, and that's just a 3-second encounter. And you really want to get an encounter skip in this dungeon. Getting the encounter that early means I probably won't. So getting an attacks first is almost as good as getting an encounter skip. So can't really complain about that one.
That is a feels blue, man. You got yellow first. Yellow first. Cool. So also there's a potentially encounter skip as well going through Babai Lighthouse. You'll notice at the beginning that Plexa ran into Babai Lighthouse entrance and ran back. Then Retreat glitched and walked back in, and it skipped him inside the dungeon. That walk up the strip to enter Babai Lighthouse is enough distance that you can mitigate a second encounter. You need to get two lucky encounters. It was quite an early one because it was down on the bottom floor. In order to have a really good chance, you need to get your first encounter either just before the jump down or down here. Even then, I've still got a second encounter. But yeah.
Yeah, doing the skip. Doing the skip tilts the odds in your favor that you'll skip it more often than not. So, as silly as it looks, it's worth going for.
Just for a chance. Because you'll be very thankful when you save 25 plus seconds. So the whole thing is, as well, by the way, is that there was a young woman under... I'm not going to say Babai's care, but...
it's under Farhan's care.
Yeah.
Farhan's care, and then Barbie just was like, well, I'm going to take you.
Yeah. Her name is Sheba, and she's awesome. She's a Jupiter Adept as well, and she has the power to use Reveal. She's a Jupiter Adept, and basically Saturas Minardi took her because they need a Jupiter Adept for access to the Jupiter Lighthouse. They don't obviously have one just yet, so they needed a Jupiter Adept. They found one, so they nicked her. Obviously, Felix is a Venus Adept, so obviously he can help them get into Venus Lighthouse proper. That is a nasty fight. Manticore King dies to a targeted jobby, you know what I mean? However, it's a better option to do this. Judgment onto the Death Heads, or the Will-O-Wisps rather, so they all die. Ground the Manticore King instead, and then follow up with a Boreas anyway. Like, you're not going to get faster than that. It's still the fastest summon, so you might as well do it. Also, Blue has a horrible encounter. Just anything with Griffins, Griffins and Orc Lords, go away. So no encounter skip for Plexa there. 2 encounters down to Tunnel Ruins. Will he go for that? Don't go for it. Or are you going to go for it?
No, this one's stupid.
Yeah,
the person who did the task was like, no one should ever go for this. Like, I could barely get it as task. So, what he's referring to as a pillar clip, which not really a thing in this game, but definitely a thing in TLA.
Yeah, pillar clips just allow you to move a platform onto where you're standing, and it can overlap with specific subpixels and pixels that you're standing on, and it basically clips you to the top, similar to the frost clip we did in Xi'an earlier on in the game. But yeah, this is just a series.
I failed spectacularly.
Yes, you did. It was shameful. Yeah, it was just a series of final puzzle. Not final. We got some puzzles in Venus, but a series of puzzles just to get across here. The reason there's about a 3 to 5 minute difference on the other side is that the other puzzles are just long.
Oh no! A, there's an extra puzzle, and B, the puzzles are slower. Like, if you take any 2 of them, they are slower than the 2 puzzles we have to do, which is just like, why? Please work. Damn. Alright, I'm gonna try and get this. Just because.
This is cool.
There we go.
That's, well, I wouldn't say it's a task thing. I think it was a thing we first saw it in task, but it's a thing that's pretty cool.
No, actually, we didn't see it in task. Someone did it. I forget who it was.
I could have sworn it was when the task was being played that I first saw that.
A task got it from, I think it was Sabu, but I could be misremembering.
The first time I saw it was Task, and that was the first time I heard it talked about. So that is another pretty poo encounter. So here's a situation where you want to use, instead of using ground, you want to use flash, because there's just no way that you're going to be able to mitigate more. You can't just get rid of the lone survivor's turn. So it's going to be targeted on the 2 Will-O-Wisps to kill them both. Deal the damage you can to the skeleton, tank the hits, and then just finish them off. It's the easiest thing to do. Nice fights.
Yeah, if I didn't use flash there, Garrett would have taken 260 damage and would be very dead right now. That would be rather problematic.
Okay, so the whole thing here is that you want to push the statues to the opposite corner of the one they're currently standing in, and have the yellow one in the center. It's to represent the 4 elemental lighthouses that are surrounding Mount Aleph, with Mount Aleph at the center where the golden sun lies.
No. Stop perpetuating that rumor.
Why?
Everybody thinks that, but it's not. No, it's not. Jupiter and Venus are switched.
Yeah, I know that. It's meant to represent that, I said. I'm not saying it does. I'm saying it's meant to.
Yeah,
but the two of them are in the wrong position.
I disagree. I think, a lot of people like to think that this is the lighthouses in Sol Sanctum, but it's really just a puzzle with a configuration of 4 elements, with the sun being in the middle, representing the golden sun. Okay. It would be great if they did align with the lighthouses, because then we could be like, aha, it is actually the lighthouses, how amazing. But instead it's just a puzzle with some configuration.
I think it was just an oversight in terms of colour. That's what I'm thinking.
Could be.
I'm rolling with that. I believe in my boys.
What was my entrance time, by the way?
That was 3:10:44.
Right.
45.
Decent.
46. Retreat glitch to skip the first puzzle. You don't have to do the whole sand fall thing to kind of get across. Attack first. Oh my god. Now that's a start to Venus Lighthouse. Yeah, so we're just going to go through these puzzles as Bluza begins his campaign through the Tunnel Ruins. It should be noted that the elemental star positions in the Sea of Stars are in the correct position.
They are, yes. Yeah. Early encounter, that sucks.
Yeah, that does suck, and that's a nasty one too.
Yep.
This is one of the situations when the whole Garrett Flash comes in handy because of those guys. But yeah, we're gonna have to just slam out Thor and then slam out Judgment, which is funnily enough apparently faster, even though it's the enemies are weak to fire on the left and water on the right, and you use the opposite elements and apparently it still kills, so that's great. Double damage. Oof.
And now you can see why some encounters are really awful. Like, this is one of those encounters that can just take forever to get through, and there's very little you can do with it.
Spiked armor drop. That's pretty nice.
Who do I want to give that to?
Defeat Isaac for the damage? I don't know.
Yeah, probably Isaac for the damage.
Spiked armor increases attack a little bit. It's also a rare drop. It's not the rarest drop. I think it's a 160. No.
Yeah, I've gotten it a couple of times. 1 in 64, I think.
Yeah, it is 164. Yeah, I'm gonna say because the Kiku's the really rare.
Yeah, the Kiku's the hard one. Blue's meanwhile getting a fantastic encounter. Good encounter,
This one's good.
That is nice.
I got a good one. Let's go.
Just gotta do the old Judgment on the old right side, and then off we go. Okay, so again, encounters here. It's very important when you're learning this dungeon. It's incredibly important to know where your safe spots are. What I mean by this is that sometimes you might have a tricky encounter, and you have to summon twice, or you might even have to summon you like even like further away from that, and you might need to recharge your Jin in like a location. There are certain spots that don't actually have any aggro like on them for steps. So those sandfalls, those little grates, no encounters. The sand itself, no encounters. This puzzle screen, no encounters. They learnt about puzzle screen and encounters when they made Beyond the Beyond, because that is a game that has encounters. Ooh, there it is. Grund, Drench, Meteor.
Yeah, so with Blues' setup, this encounter is a kill just straight with a meteor. Because I don't have Flash on Garrett, he doesn't have 5 extra elemental power, so I can't get the kill there. So it's kind of interesting.
Okay, so that's one half of the lighthouse proper. We're going to go do the second one. On the way up, we're going to be grabbing the Gaia Blade, which is the strongest weapon in the game. And it has an awesome unleash called Titan Blade, which saved me a lot during my Jinless. And the biggest thing about it for us, for this run, that is an encounter as well. The biggest thing for us as this run is that it increases the elemental power for Isaac. So it does a little bit of extra damage on the first Judgment, and it caps out the elemental power after that for subsequent Judgments. And also the increased attack is lovely for when we do use Flint. It is a bit of extra damage, but the elemental power is the main thing. Very, very helpful, so we do grab it. And it's not that hard to get because it's on a sand section, which is basically a conveyor belt. Healing is not necessarily too much for this, because if we are going to be using Flash, or if we are going to be fighting them and we need to defend, Flash is what we're going to be doing, which means that we only really need to heal if someone's like really, really low. So Flash is just that good. Both runners though in Venus Lighthouse is pretty good, and like this is not decided just yet. Like Blueser could
last time we were in this position, Blueser won the race.
I saw the fight, and Plexa decided to show me that particular fight earlier today, and I cackled. I'm so sorry, but I cackled. It was hilarious. Wasn't good. Wasn't good at all, but it was funny.
But the final bosses of this game are truly... they have killed more runs than you would believe. And not just like time loss kill, but like actually GG, you're back in Lalavera reset, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, you're just straight dead. So the run is... This race is far from decided.
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the final boss. That said, we are going to be making our way towards it, so I think we should go for some like final-ish donations before the final boss, at least, to just get out there what we can. We're closing in on that 49k.
Look at you doing my job for me.
Sorry.
We have a $50 donation here from Ferrier the First, who says, "Thank you to Plexa, Bluezer, Bowie, and Zenadir, oh you sweetheart, for this amazing run. Golden Sun is one of my favorite games that I played as a kid." Thank you so much for that $50. It's much appreciated. And while we have a moment, I would like to remind everybody of the amazing donation or bids you can put your donations to just automatically. It's cumulative, so if you donated $25 yesterday and donated $25 today, that's $50 total. And with that $50 donation, you just got entered for the PlayStation 5 disc version with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That's an amazing way to A, help a great cause, and B, amazing way to get a PS5, because where else are you going to get that? So thank you so much for that donation. Keep in mind all of the amazing prizes, as well as like the ViewSonic Elite monitors. There's 2 of those. There's an amazing This Is the Run ESA-themed Nintendo Switch Pro controller made by Spicy Frog. Big fan of that one, personally. And there's also a Bomberman Perler bead sprite, which is only a minimum donation of $10. There's so much you can do while helping a great cause here, so thank you all.
Thanks so much indeed. Looks like Plexa is reaching the top of the lighthouse without too much trouble. Down he jumps, and will be ascending to the Eyrie for his final showdown. Gaia Blade on to Isaac.
So I need to tell a story here. One time, me and Bowie were racing. We were doing our Golden Sun event race, which is a fantastic back-to-back run of this game and the second game. And I was in the same situation I am in now. I need to get 1 set of gen recovery back before I can do my menu. And I accidentally clipped the trigger point to start the fight. And so I got wiped. And lost 10 minutes.
It was pretty good.
I still won that, actually, because Bowie got caught by surprise and wiped to, what was it, Boulder Beasts or something?
Yeah, 4 Boulder Beasts and Golem. CBS explosions, yeah.
Golden Sun.
Sounds about right.
Cool game. Okay, so the final boss is 2 parts. First off, you fight Saturas Minardi, and then you fight Saturas Minardi. Saturas Minardi as human form, and then they fuse together and become Fusion Dragon. There's a lot of things to look out for. I'll go through the bad things quickly, and then we'll look at the strategy. There's a lot of things that Minardi can do, and that Saturas can do to really mess our day up. First off, Potent Cure heal from Saturas, heals for 300. Massive, negative feedback to or negative impact on the damage we're dealing. Whenever we use summons, we're going to be buffing. Break removes our bonus damage, so we're going to deal less damage. Haunt. If a ghost procs and hits onto Isaac, he dies because there's a save element called Haunt, and if you're haunted, there's a 1 in 4 chance of the ghost proccing on you and dealing 1/4 of the damage you deal back to you. We're going to be dealing into like the 800s, 1000s. A quarter of that is more than 189. We're dead. Other things, resist from Minardi. If Minardi uses resist, we're going to be dealing less damage to the pair. The big thing, death size. Death size is a single target attack which has a chance of proc instant death. If that happens, we lose a character, we lose a lot of time. That's just this first fight. Now, the strategy. The setup that has happened, everyone has 1 Venus Ginny apart from Isaac, who has 2. What we're going to be doing is setting up to be casting Judgment every other turn. So the opening turn, we're going to be having, we're going to be using Drench with Mia, but we have 2 Ginny pre-standing by. Then we're going to use Granite and use Ground on 1 turn. Granite to protect everyone, Ground on Minardi, most importantly, to get rid of death size, because that's the biggest thing. There are flex plays when you might need to go for Saturas instead. So, Ground, Granite, 4 Ginny ready to then use Judgment on turn 1. On the off turn, we're going to be healing with Wish if need be. We're going to be using the other Ginny that Isaac has, Vine and Flint, in whatever order. IDD Vine first to slow them down so we get better turn orders. And then Flash with Garrett, and then Summoning Mars with Ivan. On the next turn, all those Ginny we used in turn 1 come back. So again, it's going to be Ground, Granite, Quartz being used, and because we prepped a Jin previously on the off turn, we're going to have Judgment ready for Isaac again. And then on that other turn that comes back, Flash will come back to us. So we're always going to be rotating Flash and Granite. We're going to be rotating Ground, as well as all of our Venus Ginny to summon Judgment whilst preparing on the off turn. So it's summon, prepare, summon, prepare, summon, prepare. targeting is going to be very important. Minardi has more resistance, so we want to put all of our focus onto her. However, when we get the buff up, so ground comes out, granite goes up. The first judgment is going to be put onto Minardi. After that, we're going to get a big buff. That's a horrible start. If that went onto Ivan, we're crying. We're in danger. The first hit one goes onto Minardi. The second one, or any of the second, third, or fourth judgment, when it's boosted like this with the Earth Power boost, one of them needs to go onto Saturos so that we can balance the damage. Saturos has 3,000 HP, Minardi has 2.5k HP, so we need to kind of push the damage around in a certain way. So because she's got more resist, she takes less damage than Saturos does. But if we just put one focus into Saturos and then put the rest into Minardi, it will balance the damage out in such a way that we can set up for a specific kill. The idea is that we want to kill Saturos, or Minardi goes down first, Saturos stays alive, and then we kill him on the off turn, so that we're ready for a summon turn 1 on the final boss fight. Bluezer is just going to be setting up for this as Plexa is getting in, but it's important he didn't get Death Size or any bad stuff, just Pyroclasm and all that kind of crap on turn 2, which is safe. So again, ground on Minardi. The only time we don't really want to do that is if we don't have Granite. If Garrett dies and we don't have Granite, we want to ground Saturos because he's actually much more dangerous than her in terms of sheer damage. He's much stronger in general. So there's the target. The judgment target onto Saturos, 900 damage, very, very nice. Pyroclasm again, not targeted onto Ivan, but did hit Ivan. So Flash, Mars, Wish, and then preparing the other off Ginny, which I think at this point now is going to be Flint. So that extra earth damage and that extra damage coming out of the blade. Impact is not on Saturos. Okay, cool. There we go, 109 damage. Pyroclasm, man!
Does he know anything other than Pyroclasm?
Hopefully not. I mean, it's a slow move, but it's no break, it's no potent cure, it's no haunts. We take those.
Just don't target Ivan on this turn, it would be great.
Yeah. Down to Minardi. Granite again. So at this point, Mia should outturns Minardi as well, and then Isaac will outturn Jolly Bosch, Saturos. So there's the target onto Minardi again. You can see there's Protect. That's fine because again we're not doing too much physical damage here. That's really, really good so far. Very, very nice fight. Looking to set up quite correctly. Again, we want to put a bit more damage into Minardi. She should die, and then afterwards we can then pepper damage onto Saturos on the following turn to finish him off on the following turn. You don't want to see anything major like Potent Cure or Wish. Impact onto herself again. That's fine because she should be gone on the next fight, on the next turn. Sorry. Because again, it was 600, then 900, and 500. So yeah, she's like on 2,000 damage. So one more target onto her should kill her, and have Saturos on his knees, and then finish it off. So that looks pretty nice so far. Good fight for Saturos Minardi. I think the biggest thing is that we're not going to get broken either. So I mean, if we get broken, it's fine because we're past the fight. We're past the turn that matters. So that should be it.
I recalculated this morning, so hopefully this works as expected. Yeah, okay.
Cool, Minardi's down.
Yep.
Wow.
Very slow ability, but at this point we don't care.
Yep. Wish is going to come out, Flint's there, and it's double defend. This should kill, and that's just a perfect fight, which means that we're going to be going into the next turn. Wonderful. Lovely, lovely fight. Lovely fight. Just as Blues is starting that. So Plex is going to be going into a Judgment start on Fusion Dragon. I'll go over the Fusion Dragon just a bit. I want to just catch the first turn here for Bluezer as he's opening his engagement. Heat Flash is fine. Again, very, very powerful, but it's okay. We're going into a Flash turn 2, so it's going to be fine. I'll have to just see how this looks, and then I'll go over Fusion Dragon after this second turn. We'll see what Minardi does. Impact nice on herself. That's better than on Saturos. That's 48 extra damage, by the way, to any physical attack. That's how big a deal that is. Nice dodge. Something about delusion actually increasing your evasion chance as well as lowering your hit chance. Very strange.
No, that's just something that I conjectured out of nowhere. Apparently, it's not true, although I refuse to believe it.
Yeah, I may. Yeah, honestly, I always see it too. Okay, yeah. So ground on Minardi again, focusing the next judgment onto Saturos. I should note that because we're raining down judgment on the opponents, This strategy is called the Courthouse strat, which is very, very cool. Quickly, Fusion Dragon. Fusion Dragon has a lot of the same stuff. Evil Blessing can haunt. He can use break when there's a buff up. There's a break coming out right now from Saturos. Actually, that's really annoying. But we did manage to get the focus target onto Saturos. So that's pretty helpful. Getting that one off is kind of helpful. Other things that can happen in Fusion Dragon. Fusion Dragon's got a move called Outer Space, which takes like 7,000 years. Plex is a big fan of that one. He's also got a move called Severe Blow. Severe Blow can proc a 1 HP survival move. This is especially scary if it's the first turn on a flash turn, because if it procs, it goes through flash, which is very, very scary. So again, we want to get Vine off onto Dragon. There's Outer Space, of course, yeah. Outer Space, without Power Bread, can actually kill Ivan if targeted onto him like that. You can see where we do give him the extra bit of health just to keep him alive. Turn to Wish. We're going to be setting up our second Ginny, Flash,
basically,
and Mars.
if it decides to use Outer Space on Ivan on this first action, Ivan's dead. Oh god. Alright, thankfully it didn't target.
Yeah, that was targeted onto Garrett, that was.
Yeah.
Nice splash. Now he needs to not get targeted again. Break immediately, though. Okay, that does mix up the strats a little bit. There is a perfect strat where we can do like 3 summons. Do this in like 3 judgment phases. It's an amazing 5-turn fight. It's really, really clean. That might be out of the window because of the break. I looked into some like flex plays, but it doesn't always work out. I'm going to go for a Cybele instead because we need to get a heal onto Ivan. So I think the 5-turn is definitely out of the way.
Cybele, zero risk. I'm not taking any chances with this. Ivan can die through granite to a lot of things from this position, so I'm taking the absolute baby strat, throwing in a Cybele.
Yeah, and Cybele will increase your power by 60, I think it is. So it's only 11 off what you get from Judgment.
Yeah,
so still pretty
Ivan would have died. Ivan would have died.
Smart heal. Flint, Flash, and let's have a look over at the losers. Saturos and Minardi. I'm not sure if there's another break that came out.
No, just the one.
Okay, cool. Just the one. Okay, cool. So that should keep you fairly on pace. We'll have to see what happens here. Okay, Minardi's down. The Wish comes out. That extra damage is going to help. Okay.
Oh, sure! I could have killed with a drench.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. But the heal is more important because you would be going into a granite turn and you want to kind of come out the gate swinging. But what this forces is it forces a kill with Judgment, which means that you're going to be on the off turn going into Fusion Dragon, which just adds 1 turn to the fight, which is a chunky bit of time if he decides to use double. Oh man, the perfectly synced quartz is there. Look at this. And the perfectly synced Judgments. Yeah, that means that he's going to be going into a flash turn first, which means that if we get double outer space, that's like plus 40 seconds. It's not that bad. Like 20 or something. Really close race though. It looks like, Plex is playing this super safe at the end, but I've seen these two run this game a lot, and this is not an unheard of situation between these two. Both on the final fight, both in these moments, and just always this close. It's a fascinating fact that these runs are. It's a 4-hour run, right? On average, let's say. The average on the leaderboard is like 4. Maybe a bit higher than that, but the fact that it's just consistently this close. There are ebbs and flows for both runners all the time, and it's fascinating to see how it's always back and forth. Blues are about to jump into the final boss fight, as it looks like. Okay, not just yet another break. I think that's the extra turns. They should be going into the summon turn now on the off turn. So I didn't mention it earlier, but I can mention it. I should mention it now. Really, we set or stood by all of the Mercury and all of the Jupiter Ginny for this particular thing. That we have a Thor and a Boreas just charged and ready to go. The perfect fight for Fusion Dragon is to do Judgment, boosted Judgment, straight into these two, and then Judgment to finish. If you get the perfect fight. If you get a broken, though, it does change the situation, so you have to kind of play around that. There's the fight. Fusion Dragon down. GG's. Plexa takes it home with a very, very good time.
What was it?
It was a 3:31.21 fade out. which is a 38, I think.
I'm sorry, Blizzard.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, Saturis and Minardi definitely took away some time for there for sure. It was a bit unfortunate. The potent cure.
Double attack.
Yeah, double attack. So there's loads of different like variants to the speed of how Fusion Dragon goes. And it's all down to the moves that Fusion Dragon goes for. By the way, time is not yet. I should mention for the time's coming up when we get to the final text box and the final cutscene. And
runs have been made and lost on this last split, believe it or not, including that run I mentioned like 3 hours ago where Bowie somehow pulled ahead of Blue at the very last moment and PB overtook him by a couple frames.
Nash, like your life depended on it. It's pretty scary right now. But both these runners have been in these situations before. They've seen these runs, they know how it works, and they have loads of flex plays, all this kind of stuff. Loads of stuff that they do to mitigate. There's an interesting conversation I had with Plexa before this about how Golden Sun is very much a game of mitigating time loss rather than going, what is these attacks? This is Ballista level.
What is this?
This is Ballista level of RNG. So like, outer space takes ages, but attack is really fast. Attack, drain, fang, all these kind of like really crappy moves that don't do anything.
Didn't we agree before we started that if one of us finished and one died, we would just mercy kill it? Because I'll just go for the fast strat.
Go for it, man.
Do I do it? I might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah, I just need to not see.
I can tell you how to get out of it if you run into issues.
Well, I got wanted, so
we'll go for it. We'll try the fast strat.
You're gonna be fine, mate. There's absolutely no way this is gonna go badly. Thor. See,
combo does 1,700 damage in one turn.
Yeah. Fusion Dragon has 5,000 HP, by the way. So it was 840-ish for the first judgment, then it's like 1,100. And then
he's got exactly 999 left.
And it's got a calculator.
Yeah. Easy.
GG, dude.
Space. Very clean. And then he's going to see it home with one final judgment. There was no break. Quartz, judgment, ground meteor, ground granite. That's GG's as well to Blueser. Going to be taking home a 334 time on the Fusion Dragon, so just slightly over the 340 mark. 341, I think that's going to be, but
not bad.
Yeah, I mean for a race, like to get that done. GG's. There we go. Again,
GG's, dude. Well played.
Time is not until we get to the very, very end.
There's a frame saver right here, by the way. If you talk to Item before you leave, you save a second. So things like this, plus the menuing position and doing the menu and stuff, like they all add up to frames, and they are significant enough that they do decide runs. So it is a part of the speed run.
Yeah. Absolutely. A quick summary of the final cutscene there. After lighting the Venus Lighthouse, a shockwave is sent through the continent. Sheba falls off the lighthouse, and Felix is like, "No, I'll save you!" and jumps after her. The earthquake causes a part of the continent to break away and float off into the ocean, but it also causes an earthquake. No, the tidal wave comes from Poseidon being like really antsy, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure. He's just having a hissy fit and just throws some.
Venus Lighthouse wakes up Poseidon, and then he makes the tidal wave.
Yeah.
Oops.
Wah. And then the beginning of TLA starts, where we catch up with what happens after this. The beginning of TLA's cutscene is before Felix goes to the top of Venus Lighthouse. So it's kind of like as you're climbing, TLA's starting, which is really cool. But yeah, that's kind of what's happening. And then Isaac and co agree to take the boat with the Black Hole. They take the Lemurian ship and go out to the Eastern Sea to help try and find Lemuria. So that's kind of what's happening. Guess we've got time for something like one quick final donation before we get to the end as well, if there is one. Yeah.
I've definitely got one quick final donation here. It is a $10 donation from Range in all caps, who says, "Leon in under 20 minutes. Whoa, good luck, Dad." And that's referring to the upcoming run. So thank you so much for that. I'm glad people are excited.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much indeed. So off they go. Just going to run into a lot of people. You can save your game here, and a lot of people don't know that. Like, just kind of like, if you save here, you can't do anything. You're just stuck here. So it's kind of weird. But there's some small things here. Making sure to get the positioning right on the third beam down from the top. To make sure you get this one final mash, and then the final then splits. The final split will be on the final text box, which is Jenna is waiting for us. So
We'll probably give that a call out.
yeah, we will. Yeah, don't worry. So hand ready on time. It's about a minute or so away, I think, at this point. So
Slightly less, but yeah.
GG's though, boys. Really, really good race. Really, really good. Like ups and downs throughout, and well handled for most situations. So really, really good.
Yeah, that was super tight through the middle. I actually had a god ult Miller, and that was kind of the difference.
I was hoping we'd at least be like, couple minutes. So this is great.
This is these are both very respectable times. Check out the leaderboard. There's not too many times better than either what we're doing today. Alright, I also renamed Jenna because you get fun dialogue on the very last text box. Which is this text box right here.
ESA is waiting for us, and time. 3:38.
Did it bot my PB?
Oh, because you waited. 3:38 flat.
Oh. This guy.
GG's, Plexa. Well done.
GG's.
Congratulations.
GG.
Yeah, that is a ridiculous time. I had to play out of my mind there because Blue was right on my heels through pretty much the entire game. I mean, it doesn't look it, but we both know that there's like 3-minute time swings in Venus 2, so anything can happen.
That's what I had in my head, like 3 minutes.
Yeah. You played exceptionally well, man. Well played.
Yeah, you as well.
So yeah, my final plug, shout outs to the Golden Sun Discord, Golden Sun community. Oh, this is what happens when you don't.
Yeah. Do you actually have to go back and talk to him?
No, you don't. No, you don't. You can just leave.
Oh, no. Yeah,
So shout outs to the Golden Sun community. They are a really cool bunch of people to be around. It's a real honor and a privilege to represent them. Shout outs to Blueser as well. I have a full-time job, so I don't stream this as much as I want to. Blueser is out there literally every day and just grinding out runs like a mad lad. He also has a full-time job, by the way. He just doesn't make excuses like I do. I'm like, I'm tired, and Blue's like, no, I'm just gonna get a run in.
I just really like
insane.
I just really like intro.
Please follow this man, Blueser. He is an absolute legend keeping the game alive. And I've learned so much from watching him play. So much. I'm being genuine here, Bowie. Why do you have to go and do that? You've ruined a moment now.
No, I haven't ruined a moment. I think I'm going to add to it a little bit because, like, it's one of those things where I mean this in the nicest way possible. You learn when watching other runners. You learn things that you can do better and also things to avoid, all this kind of stuff. And I think that the latter half can definitely be. No. I mean, being serious though, like you learn a lot from watching other runners. If you just sit there and only think for yourself or think about your own stuff, you then sometimes kind of like don't see these fringe opportunities or things around the corners. So that, of course, yeah. And Blue's done a lot of runs to see a lot of good and bad things that this run can do. All that kind of stuff. Like, this is not a kind run. It's really mean.
It certainly is not.
I had my time doing these, and I think Blueser has far surpassed my experience when it comes to the stuff on show that this game can do. But yeah.
All right, we're getting close here.
GG's for running the pair of you. It's been a blast to commentate.
Yes, this was
Thank
great.
you, Bowie. Soloing this is as a commentator is daunting, but you've done it admirably as usual, friend.
And time. GG's, everybody.
GG's, man. GG's. Well played.
No reloads, no resets. Or,
yeah, your run's valid, mine's not. So
you did.
Yeah, Forge.
Yeah, I reset on Forge. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He had level 2, so he had to save.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, that's Golden Sun. It's a good ass video game. Camelot are an amazing development company. Shining Force 4, Golden Sun 4 is happening, I believe.
Thank you, everybody. I think we're trying to keep it quick.
I think.
Yeah.
Anything
We're
to
all
say,
good.
Blue, before you're done? I know you didn't get to say anything, so anything there?
Just thanks, everybody. Glad to have you both here, and yeah, hope everybody enjoyed.
That'll be it for us. So we'll see you again soon. And come join the Discord and learn Golden Sun.
Yeah, do that.
Alrighty, friends, give me your best clap emotes for this fantastic race with Plexa and Bluezer, and for Bowie the Hero on commentary. Make sure you properly celebrate the 20th birthday of Golden Sun tomorrow on August 1st, including going to the subreddit for all the amazing things they have planned, and make sure to give yourselves a proper pat on the back for helping us raise currently $48,733 and counting. Coming up next, we have Chaos Drifter running Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic any % on PC just after this setup break.